Underdog Daily with the Batch Bros. John and just John today. OG Rotorun Solorun. My guy Nez Takes held down the fort for me the last couple of days there. Much appreciated. Much love to him. But he still got the family in town today. So actually what happened was we pushed Gumby. We pushed the winner. How disrespectful of us. No, we're pushing Gumby to Wednesday so that we can both be here for the winner's circle there. So you get me today. We're going to do some hoops. We are going to do some best ball in the baseball streets there because I got to play catch up. Dude, we're only 9 days away from opening day for the Dinger here. So I got to get some more drafts in. I think I got to do 5 per day for the next 9 days here. So make sure we get that one in on stream here. And yeah, and then we're going to do off and on the clock tomorrow, obviously, and then a whole bunch of hoops the rest of the week here. It's not full-fledged silly season yet, but we're on the fringe. We're on the cusp of silly season, but good to be back in the saddle here as I click around looking for all my buttons and stuff, get re-familiarized with what we do around here, get that going there. But a couple things to start things off here. First things first, the new bracket stuff, guys. Underdog, man, home of the bracket battle. Bracket battle is live there in your apps. So you guys could see on the side in the comments here in the chat, Pete just hooked me up with this link. We are going to have a Deposit Kingdom bracket challenge. We're going to talk about it on the program tomorrow, maybe give some insight to it, maybe build some brackets, all that sort of stuff. But this is our official link, and there's going to be a prize pool associated with it. So you can do the free to enter in the big bracket here, but then you can also do our Deposit Kingdom challenge by clicking that link in the chat there. There's going to be 2,500 in prizes up for grab there. So yeah, go ahead, fill out a bracket, do that, or wait for the show tomorrow if you want some alpha. And then we'll go ahead, fill out some brackets and put them in there. So shout out to Underdog for doing that for us. Yeah, I think behind the scenes right now, I think Numi and Pete are cooking up the ultimate payout structure for 2,500 there. Yeah, I know I don't have any insight to offer. I'm well aware, Eggers. Yeah, so that's the first thing I wanted to hit on. Second thing I wanted to hit on, if you guys did not see, we are the exclusive home of 25% or 20% off the solver there, guys. So if you guys want to use promo code BADGE at sign up and you are a first-time solver user, you guys see us use it on the program all the time. Go ahead and hit that one up there. Use promo code BADGE. And then the last thing I want to hit on, guys, we're going to use it for the first time on stream. I've been telling you guys that EZ has a free overlay for baseball because the solver does not support the season-long MLB stuff just yet. So we've been using EZ stuff behind closed doors, and I'm going to use it on stream today. So we're gonna run the S words in real time there, see if I'm actually creating good teams here. So just wanted to give some love to some friends and family off the top of the show and some new stuff going down on Underdog, and then we will rip in the streets here. I'm going to start with basketball. Hey, shout out to Chris here, man. Chris hanging out in the chat. I called him the hardest working man on the site. He went back-to-back last week there. I think I was there for one of them and then missed the other one. Guys, I don't know the last time I was as sick as I was. Dead ass. Like, the one benefit of being as sick as I was this weekend and last week and stuff is I did not move. I did not do much other than watch sports. So, yeah, I got a decent amount of the players in. Really enjoyed watching that. Watched the Saturday night Lakers and Denver game go to overtime. The LeBron diving on the floor, Austin Reeves with the miss and then put back. Crazy stuff, man. The Cheese is in the chat. He's asking, is the solver doing MLB? TBD. TBD on MLB daily stuff for the solver. TBD on best ball in the future. Currently, that is not the case right now. They are focused primarily on the football and on the basketball stuff there right now. That's the main focus of the solver, and we'll be using it for best ball season all summer long there. But they've been experimenting. They've been experimenting behind closed doors. So I hold out hope in the future. But for right now, we use EZ stuff, and you guys can try out EZ's one for free there with that link. I'll drop that in the chat for everybody as well. Yeah, I think that's kind of the crux of it, the lay of the land for everybody. I did not get drafts in this weekend, so I cannot share leaderboards. I cannot give the community the glaze in which they deserve right now. I just, man, I was just not up to it. But I did watch and I did pay attention to the league, and I do have a little bit of insight on today's slate, or like to think I have a little bit of insight on today's slate. We'll see. Um, I got 10 NBA drafts under my belt right now, and we can just walk through it all. Yeah. And Nick, Chris has won everything. Damn right, man. Chris is the GOAT, dude. Chris is Mount Rushmore territory, man. Chris is out here grinding. Yeah. Yes, yeah, we get it. The dog bowl hangover caught. I wish it was the dog bowl hangover, man. I wish it was. I actually I did say this, and I said this on stream, but I did say it when I was there, that if I had won the dog bowl, I was going to stay a couple extra days, because the basketball schedule that was taking place in LA after the dog bowl was phenomenal, man, because both the Clippers and the Lakers played against the T-Wolves right after. Plus, then you had that Saturday night Joker versus Luca game there. Then you also had Clippers played the Knicks at home on the Monday night. So I think it would have been a crazy stint, and I really wanted to stay for those games. But yeah, my guy AMAC mixing it up in the puck streets last night, 21st. I will glaze a 21st in the puck streets, my friend. Yeah, let's just jump into the slate, and let's just try and get some drafts in under our belt today, and have some fun out here. Give me a repost there, and let's get to work. Yeah, so first things first, a bunch of teams on the back-to-backs here. Yeah, some funky West Coast going East Coast travel. So like Portland plays at home last night and then travels out east to Brooklyn. So they've already submitted. Warriors play at home last night, then travel out east for the Wizards tonight. They've already submitted. So there's that kind of stuff. You get two really hot teams going at one another with the Hawks and Orlando. So Magic and Hawks there. We get the Pelicans with the kind of probably I'd say the second biggest Q tag on the slate there, with DeJounte Murray, who's, slowly making his way back up to full. So DeJounte Murray looms large. And then we got Sengun, who missed last time out there. He's got the Q tag. He has not been playing particularly well. We've noted this in recent memory. The minutes have kind of been a little bit on a downward trajectory here. Jabari Smith has been playing a lot. Yeah, so we'll talk through the Sengun situation as well there. So those are the two big Q tags that loom, but it's kind of nice that these West Coast teams going out east have already filed, because they have to file, 5 hours prior to tip, plus you get the 3-hour time change. So we have all these injury reports for everybody on the 8-gamer, despite there being a couple late West Coast games on the slate. A couple good basketball games, man, like Lakers and Rockets means something. Clippers without Kawhi tonight against the Spurs, but, still a meaningful game for both those teams in the standings. Blazers pushing up here. Celtics, like, what do we do with Tatum this evening after, he has a nice box score last time out, but still doesn't go to like 30 minutes there. Yeah, we got a lot of decision points here. Grape Soda's asking, do you think Murray plays? Yeah, illness tags and first time having a tag since coming back from the Achilles, and you're just in a situation where Dallas is on the back-to-back. I was leaning towards no, but like I was drafting as if yes. So by that I mean, like, I was taking him at like 24, 25 when he was there, because he's just going to be so much better than that if he goes. But my thought process is like, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, and that's gonna have some push-pull stuff, because it should be a good spot for Zion, guys. And if Zion can't get it done in this one, I don't know what to say, man, because we got no Gafford on the other side. He's gonna get a lot of PJ Washington, but it's PJ Washington playing the 5, or maybe he doesn't even see PJ. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I have high hopes for Zion tonight, but famous last words there. Tatum played 32 against the Wiz. I watched a little bit of that game, guys, and Tatum stayed out when all the starters came out, and it was just Tatum on the floor. And I think they just kind of used him as like, hey, we can close this game right now at the end of the third quarter and start of the fourth, so that nobody else has to come into the ball game if we put Tatum, if we allow Tatum to play like, his 29-32. So I think I'm in on it. But yeah. I think that was kind of like the ceiling. I think they knew that they didn't have to stagger to like keep him capped, is kind of what I'm saying. Like, I think they didn't have to stagger because they knew they could just get it done in 3 quarters, or else at that point in the ball game, if they were playing for him to close, he would have just been like on the bench with all the other starters, if that makes sense. So I think 32 is probably the ceiling right now. I mean, 35 maybe, but like, it was obviously super encouraging. It's just that ADP of 10 is, something to talk about, right? Okay, anything else kind of like macro? Yeah. Warriors back end back to back, Portland back end back to back, Mavericks back end back to back. Then you have front end back to backs on the slate are Washington. They're staying at home for Detroit tomorrow. And then Orlando gets OKC tomorrow at home. Phoenix goes to the T-Wolves tomorrow. And then the Spurs go to Sacramento. So 4 on the front end, 4 on the back, or what is it? 3 on the back end, 4 on the front end. 3 on the back end, 4 on the front end there. 8-game slate this evening. All right. Let's take a look at some other stuff here. Sorry, I'm playing catch up mentally here. PJ playing the back-to-back? I mean, he's not on the injury report, so I assume he's playing on the back-to-back. He's not on the injury report. Gafford's got the doubtful tag. Musa Cisse's got a Q tag on there. We got the doubtful tag on Clay, but no listing for PJ. So, I'm treating it as if he's playing on the back-to-back. Yeah, doesn't normally. Actually, speaking of doesn't normally, we got the Q tag to come through, and I just wanted to fact check myself. Check this out, guys. The last time Robert Williams III played on a back-to-back, January 15th, 2022. He has the Q tag today on the back-to-back. There's a reason Klingon's the cover boy. But I just found that astounding. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to look this up just to like fact check myself to make sure, because we talk about it all the time. It's been 4 years, man. Little zinger night. Dude, I won't fault you for zinger night tonight. I mean, we just saw Kata smash the Wiz at the 5 there. It's been an ongoing narrative. I wouldn't fault you. Would not fault you whatsoever. All right. What do you say we just hop right in and start doing this thing game by game here? Going to be a couple spots we can gnaw away for sure. But first game on the slate here, man. Beautiful unabated interface. We got the Hawks and Magic. We got a 232, and we got 3 by way of the Hawks in this one. To my money, about 5 draftable Hawks, 3, maybe 4 draftable Magic in this one. Pretty frothy total with 2 hot teams right now. For a pretty meaningful and impactful game for the back end of those Eastern Conference standings right now. So this one looks pretty good, man, just from a real-life basketball standpoint. Magic coming through with Anthony Black on the out tag there. A couple G-Leaguers listed out. Franz Wagner still listed out. But Jonathan Isaac listed out. And then a Q tag with an illness tag for Jet Howard here, who's low-key been like 6/7th man in recent memory and playing some good basketball. Considerably cleaner on the Hawks side there. We got Q tags on the G-Leaguers and then a Q tag on Jonathan Kuminga with that left knee injury stuff. So if we jump back over to ADP right here, let's start with Atlanta. You guys saw last time out. So Kuminga played and then didn't play, and he played 20 in this one. But he had a Q tag coming into, I believe it was the Dallas game that we talked about together, That was on the 10th. Yeah, Tuesday the 10th when I did the solo paywall show, and we talked about the impact of Kuminga on the projection for Jalen Johnson. And then we moved Jalen Johnson over Cade Cunningham in our ranks there and, proved dividends. Even Kuminga playing 20, directly impacts the usage rate of Jalen Johnson, right? When they're side by side, or if there's some push pull where, JJ comes off the floor so that Kuminga can play. I just want you guys to be aware that, like, when you're looking at projections right now and Kuminga's in for 18 to 22 minutes, and Jalen Johnson is still like the third best play on the slate or whatever, that there's still room for him to move, or if he's the fourth best play, because you guys know my stance. I don't usually look at projections before. I think it's a pretty stark 1-2 today anyways, but I do think Jalen Johnson, if he's already projecting as the third best play on the slate, like, he's only got room to go up, right? But yeah. So Jalen Johnson goes every single time, and then you start talking about the back end options here. And yeah, I mean, I get it that it's been very difficult to parse through on every night, but that doesn't mean that we like wave these options, right? I think Nikhil is my favorite. The ADP says so as well. The minutes are the safest. He seems to be like the secondary scoring option. It's like him or CJ. Dyson's usage has been like way down, but he can do it via the stocks. This looks like a spot that you can win like a little bit of catch and shoot and trade threes and stuff. And that looks like CJ and Nikhil's music to me. So I would kind of play it something like that. The projections, I imagine, will tell you that Dyson and Na are very similar and just take the one with the lower ADP. I think there's 5 draftable plays here. I know Onyeka hasn't done it from a box score standpoint in the most recent effort, but like, man, this is some good stuff here. Wendell Carter Jr. doesn't really strike fear into my heart if we're being serious about like just matchup based stuff. So I'd be pretty good with Onyeka in the last round, but I think it's Jalen Johnson at 3, and then you can mix and match those guys in the last round. I think max 2, and I think the most common pairing of 2 will be the like Jalen Johnson in the first round, and then one of these guys in the second round, in the last round. So if you want to be the guy that pairs like 2 of these guys in the later rounds, I'd be totally cool with it. I would probably lean CJ or Nikhil, but like that's just kind of like my bro science take on the situation. Magic side of thing, man. Magic playing really nice. It's really nice to see Bane playing up to the caliber in which we thought when we were drafting him in best ball season there. I think Paulo is just kind of like locked in at 5 today. He feels like a little bit of a tier break guy to me. Like, I think there's a clear top 5 today, and then there's like a huge hodgepodge of you can kind of like do whatever you want with the Durant, Booker, Denny, Flag, JB, like that whole tier. You can kind of mix and match as you see fit. But I think if I was like projecting it out, like he would just be like at 5 and be like slightly ahead, like that's where he's going to live. So that makes him like a decent flip the board candidate. That being said, I think you're sacrificing too much projection today if you want to pull him over to the left side. So yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think about Paulo. I mean, I guess it's good if he gets Jalen Johnson matchup opposed to dealing with the on ball of the other guys. Like both Suggs and Bane's matchup are going to be tougher than Paulo's, but they're both going to be like extremely playable today. I think you could mix in a Tristan Da Silva share. He's been starting since Black's been gone. He's been shooting it well. We saw, that 6 stock game as a really big outlier. Granted, it was Washington. But yeah, I think Suggs is good in the last round, but he's probably slightly overdrafted relative to his ADP, but he's going to project like right there, right? So if he's a 100% drafted guy, just being the guy who takes Da Silva once in a blue moon feels kind of fine. Especially if there's no Chet Howard tonight. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm good with Bane at ADP, but I slightly prefer the Pelicans guys beside him. And then I think Suggs is good kind of in and around. I, I kind of just want like 1-2-ish pieces of this game at like a decent frequency, just given the total and given like the quality of players in this game. Also the spread and the fact that both teams will be trying hard. All right, guys, we got the next one up here is Wizards and Warriors. 233 in this one, 7.5 to the Warriors on the road, second night of the back-to-back traveling out east there. Warriors injury report has come through, and they've kind of just flipped some of the guys that were out yesterday to be in today and vice versa. No Moses Moody in this one. No Al Horford in this one. You have a Q tag on Quentin Post. You have a probable tag on Draymond Green. Obviously, no Steph Curry still here and no Jimmy Butler. On the Wizards side of things, we had Alex Sarr playing some really nice basketball there, and now he is listed with a right hamstring injury management tag there. Keyshawn George is out. D'Lo is out. Anthony Davis is out. Leaky Black is out with a left ankle. He's going to have his contract kind of like monitored as we go down the stretch here. So I guess we could start with the Wizards side because the question is there anything playable? The answer would be I would want to play Vukovic if he would get up over 20 minutes and he continues to start. The problem is, even before this whole stretch where he missed games, he wasn't pushing over 20. So he's a really good rates guy. It would be a half decent, fun, game for him here, but like I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's too low ceiling on an 8-game slate like this. Can we get enough out of Trae Young in like 22 to 25 minutes without Alex Sarr? Can we get enough from him to matter on this slate? Maybe, maybe, but I highly doubt it. So I think just waiving Washington today is probably the best move. I think the safest for minutes is Will Riley. They really like, and they've been openly talking about, they like this Trae Young plus Will Riley. Good Canadian kid also here, but like 39 minutes, 33 minutes, 29 minutes. It's just we haven't seen ceiling from it. So it's not playable on our site, in my opinion. The raw points and like the raw scoring is just not enough. If Julian Reese is back in there and they don't manage the contract today with Sarr being out, just given that they'd be a little bit thinner at the 5. It'd be like Anthony Gill, Julian Reese, and Tristan Vukovic. Like if you saw Reese return to the starting lineup in the tail end of drafting window and you thought he could maybe get up to 30 today, it's a tough spot with like Draymond and Zinger on the other side. But like if he was going to play 30 today, taking some swings in the last round is like totally fine. But that's way too many words for the Wizards today because I just don't think you can play any of them, man. Like Hardy's going to come off the bench and play 15 minutes and flamethrow. Trey Johnson's being monitored. Bub's kind of monitored. Belil plays, big minutes sometimes, but we just know what Belil is. Yeah, it's just there's nothing overly interesting here when you can just take like some of the when you just take some of the Atlanta guys instead. Aaron saying approximately 25% chance this game doesn't happen. Is this a travel related thing? I'm not. Forgive me if I'm not a ball knower of why that would be. Is this a weather patterns and travel thing? Tell me what's up, Aaron. I would really like to know because I'm leading the charge out here, but I was unaware. So please share. Yeah. Let's talk about the Warriors side here. Big time minutes and bullish projections for like pods in recent memory. Brandon Pazinski. I think it's fine. I think it's kind of like a mean projection play opposed to like a right tail ceiling, but this is the absolute smash spot for it, right? So I think he's totally fine. I think Guy Santos is fine today. I think Zinger is fine, but it's kind of like the inverse of the Trae Young stuff there, where it's like, is 22 minutes enough in the last round? We know it's a smash spot. We know centers against Washington is like a narrative. So yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. Okay, here we go. So Aaron's got tornadoes in DC today in the forecast until the evening. Okay, so keep your ear to the street on that one, guys. Thank you for that, Aaron. I was unaware of that. So thank you for that. Yeah, the nice things I could say about that is this is the first game of the slate and it locks and everybody's ADPs are buried. So you're going to have big time swaps off of it. You're going to have really easy swaps. So if people start fading this game late in the day, maybe that's good enough reason to not like jam Podzinski and be like, yeah, we have to take pods at ADP 20 or whatever and get way overweight the field. Maybe that's a good enough reason to kind of soft fade it and just catch it as a faller. But the nice thing is very first lock window of the slate, and you'll have all the other games on the slate to swap to. So yeah, you won't have the Atlanta and Magic guys to swap to unless we get news prior to that 7 p.m. tip, but you'll have everything else. So yeah, I wouldn't be like overly scared about it, to be fair. Yeah, I think Pods is my favorite of the bunch there. I really like the zinger in the last round shout. I've done it a couple times already, but it is capped, man. It's like, it's a play where is 38 to 45 fantasy points enough to win the slate in the last round? And that's like that's a double-edged sword bet, right? It's Zinger has to be the highest scoring last round guy by the byproduct of everybody else failing as well, because 45 is usually enough to get it done from your last round pick, but not always on an 8-gamer, right? Not always. Yeah, I think the one last guy I would say is D'Anthony Melton. Melton has just been doing it pretty heavily from a rate standpoint, contributing in every category. He's, one of their best scorers on the offensive end when he's like playing 25 minutes. He sat out yesterday, so probably full-ish today, but full-ish for him is always kind of soft capped. But Melton in the last round feels fine too. But it's still, again, 22 to 25 minutes there if it's a competitive game environment. But this is a really nice matchup for the Warriors, right? So Melton feels good in the last round as a scroll. Next game, man, Blazers and Nets here. We get a really thin Nets front court, and then we get a little bit of a shorthanded Blazers team here, presumably, not definitively, presumably with Time Lord with the Q tag there. But 10-point favorites for the Blazers here, a 220.5 on the, give me a half second here. Blazers sides of things. Vic Krejci has the doubtful tag there. This is second night of the back-to-back traveling east for them as a reminder. Still no Shaedon Sharpe. Caleb Love is listed out here. Q tag on Robert Williams III. And then Young Handsome, is out with the G League tag, which makes them thinner at the 5 as well, even if Time Lord plays. So hence the cover boy of Klingon and just the damage that people have done on the interior against the Nets in recent memory. And then on the Nets side of things, no Noah Clowney, no Yegor Demon, he's done for the year there. No Terrence Mann, no Michael Porter Jr., and then Daron Sharp is done for the year as well. Yeah, this is kind of ugly with the Nets side of things here, guys, because the Nets are kind of doing their best impersonation of Memphis, and they're just kind of signing whoever and playing whoever 22 to 25 minutes. They are far more of like a redacted site play where you're searching for like min salary guys to just jam into your lineups on a night-to-night basis right now. That being said, like, they still have like all those names I listed as out, and they still have like 12 tonight. They got Malachi Smith, they got Tyson Etienne, they got Ben Sheriff, they got all these guys, right? And it's just like, I don't think so. This is probably not for me tonight. I would like to play Traore, but Traore's minutes are down. Danny Wolf, kind of just like the only fringe playable guy here. I mean, I'd like to play Claxton a little bit, but he's only playing 20. He's getting capped out there. It's just they're not running a ton through him right now. they're really just seeing what they have in everybody else. Who was I looking at earlier? Maybe it wasn't here. No, it was. It was Cheney Johnson, and I was like, dude just played like 25 against the 76ers the other night. Like, I was looking at their rotations. Let me show you here. The Nets game here. Like, we're doing the hockey style changes. They're doing exactly what Memphis does, right? With that 25 minutes for everyone bullshit. Yeah, man. I don't think it's playable. I guess Danny Wolf would be like the guy, but like, even nobody even stands out from a usage rate, right? Like 22 from EJ Lindell, who just played garbage time in the fourth. Like, there's just nothing here for us, man. There's nothing here for us. Maybe on the redacted side, you can get to it. If you had to make me pick a favorite, it would be Danny Wolf, because he can play the 4 alongside Claxton. He can also play some small ball 5 if they need, in not small ball in parentheses, smaller 5 in the second unit, that sort of thing. But I don't think there's anything worth playing here. Move to the other side of that one with Portland. It's nice that we didn't get a Q tag on Denny Avdia, which makes me quite bullish on Denny Avdia. I like him a lot in that second round. I like Klingon a little bit more than ADP because I'm mentally checking Time Lord out. Blazers are going to be, if you get no Time Lord tonight, Blazers are only going to have 10 or 11. They're going to have Jrue, Tamani, Denny, Grant, and Klingon, presumably as a starting unit. And then they will have like Scoot, City, and Chris Murray as kind of like the next guys. And then they'll probably mix in like Thibault and Wesley and only play 10, And then when Klingon's not playing the 5, they'll probably do some second unit, smaller ball 5 stuff and bring City out for that. And you could play City versus Danny Wolf. Yeah, man, I really like the spot for Klingon. It's really jumping to me. So my biggest thing I was doing early in the day was trying to pair, Denny and Klingon with some teams with the Luka on the left side of the board or Wemby on the left side of the board. But this looks like a really good spot for the Blazers, man. Yeah, if you want to get frothy with it and get frisky rather with it, you could take some Holiday in the last round. You could maybe take a Jeremy Grant share or 2, but I'd probably cap it at that. Scoot, we did see a little bit of ceiling from a scoring perspective in that Utah game and in that Pacers game there. But since Denny's been back, it's a little hard to trust Scoot. It's a little hard to trust Scoot playing off the bench. But if this game somehow goes to like garbage time and they're only running like 10 deep, Scoot might have to stay on and play a little long with the second unit, right? So I might trust Scoot a little bit in that instance. So pairing Scoot with Denny or pairing Scoot with Klingon is not the worst idea in the world, where you formulate this thing that like, hey, Klingon smashes. This is the reason we kind of like get adjacent to or shoulder to garbage time. And then Scoot probably doesn't play real full garbage time run. Let's be real about that. But he might just get like an extra 4 or 5 at the expense of Denny and Jrue to close things out at the start of the fourth quarter. Yeah, it's obviously thin on an 8-game slate, but I don't think it's crazy. If you showed up with it, like, I'd just be like, oh yeah, that was probably pretty intelligent there. Okay, next game up, guys. We got Suns and Celtics here. 214.5 on the unabated line. Celtics by 6 in this one. How many minutes is Tatum going to play is kind of like the big question here. The Suns backcourt has been smashing. Yeah, we joked, hey, where's the ceiling on Booker for so long? And then he showed up with it in a big way and dropped 60 fantasy points 2 games ago, I believe. We'll go back and look in a half second there. Jalen Green playing some really inspired basketball. You know who could actually kind of look like they could use Jalen Green right now? Use a little bit of handling like that. That's the Houston Rockets. Look like they could use a little bit of Jalen Green right now. We've talked so much about the handling there, but yeah. GM, J Fresh, what's good? What's good? Could someone please hop in the solo shot? 11 out of 12 there. One more for the solo shot. If you guys are looking to get your solo shot in, there you go. All right. Do you think we get full minutes against a terrible Nets team? Feel like they could get pulled early because they're 100%. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be baked in, but they can do enough with the minutes at the start of the game there that I like the Blazers guys, man. And they're thin enough too. The thing that gets lost in like some of the conversations about like blowout run and if guys can play long enough, some of the things that kind of get lost in that conversation is how many bodies do they have available, right? Like if Time Lord's not available tonight and they've already had Vic Krejci with the doubtful tag there, like they only have 10 anyways, you know? G Leaguer's already listed out here, right? So, like maybe it'd be a little bit of a different conversation if we knew, hey, Caleb Love could mix in a little bit, or Chris Youngblood could mix in a little bit, or Young Hansen could mix in for a little bit. Plus like the Blazers are right in the thick of their play-in window stuff. Like they're trying to win ball games right now. So a lot of things working in the Blazers' favor this evening, apart from the travel and moving West Coast to East Coast on the back-to-back. Okay. So pretty clean injury reports here for both sides. Stuff we've been dealing with the last couple games here. Nikola Vucevic is out for the Celtics there. And then on the Suns side, no big Mark Dub and no Dylan Brooks still. Pretty easy, tight player pool to talk about here on both sides. It's just relative to where do you want to draft these guys. So I kind of like JB's ADP today. I'm totally fine with it. I think he should project right here. I did watch a good amount of this Celtics and Wizards game, and it is quite interesting to just see the dynamic of Tatum with the ball in his hands all the damn time. You know, like Tatum with the ball in his hands and just like not finding JB, and JB just kind of like as an auxiliary guy in the corner. And they were just running so much high side screen and roll stuff with Kata that like JB was just camped out in the corner and doing nothing. It was interesting to watch. I wonder if the usage rate, we could take a look here. I will see if the usage rate agrees with me on that take. Kata with a 23, Derek White with a 20, JB with a 23, a 24 there. I primarily watched this stint of the game. So 29 for Tatum there, and JB had a 26 still. So maybe my eyes were deceiving me there. Maybe JB is still just entirely fine. But Tatum is going to be a big crux and decision point today because he's not, I already know, you guys know my stance on, I don't look at the projections. I do my own research, and then we look at them in tandem with the first draft that we do on stream together. It's just kind of how my process is. Tatum just looked rich to me to start. I understand that it's Jason Tatum. I understand that he got up to 32. I understand that it's a pretty decent matchup for him. I don't know. It just looked rich to me at first glance, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So I think there's 5 draftable guys here, but I'd be lying to you if I wanted to draft Pritchard all that much. Like, I think it's an okay spot for Pritchard. I think it's a better spot for the top 3 guys here. It include Kata in that, right? Man, Kata with some really nice box scores there. I probably won't draft Kata today, even though it's a decent spot. I'll probably just keep it at the top 3. But if you scroll to Kata or you scroll to Peyton Pritchard, I would not fault you whatsoever. But I think the big crux and decision point is Tatum, and I think I'm going to be a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter on Tatum and a little bit lighter on White today. But I will be in on JB in a decent way. And then on the Suns side of things, man, big scoring box scores for Devin Booker here. Like, look at these 32, 30, 27, 43, 31. Fantasy points have followed alongside it. North of 40 and 3. That big 62 against the Pacers that won the slate there. And then 32 on the back-to-back there. He's not going to project as well as his ADP, but if you want him, you're going to have to take him at ADP today because the box score chasers are going to be out in full force. Obviously not the best matchup in the world for him comparatively to like the Celtics side of things. I think the Celtics side of the matchups look a little bit better there. I imagine he gets, the Derek White stuff. Maybe not, but that's kind of where my mind would go. Jalen Green looks okay. He's been filling it up too. Big ass scoring between these two guards. So you love to see it. And then basically nobody else for me here. You've seen Fleming kind of jump into this rotation. Look at this, 23, 22, kind of splitting that 5 stuff with Oso. 25s, 24s. So just interesting to note, but not playable. Nick, first time, bro? First time. What's your name on Underdog? Whoo, first time. Love to see it, dude. I don't know if you can read that little sign back there or whatever. It's 2-time Dog Bowl qualifier Rotorun. That's what the name is, my friend. That's kind of all I got to say on that one. It's kind of a game, just given the total, given that they're two competitive teams, it's a game that I'm going to be watching, but it's not a game that I'm going to be aping, man. It just doesn't feel like the spot. It's the lowest total on the slate. Tatum looks a little bit overpriced to me. Booker looks a little bit overpriced to me. I'm interested, but I think I want to find some other plays from that Atlanta game. I want to find it from the Wizards game. I want to find it from the Pelicans game, the Chicago game that we're about to talk about. There's 30 points different in the total in the Chicago game and the Boston game. And it's just not overly inspiring to me, man. Can one of these guys go off? For sure. For sure, one of these guys could go off. But yeah, I don't know. Had to throw that out there. Hey, it says it right on the plaque. Now that I realize it, the plaque is not overly legible. I might have to move the plaque. We'll see. We'll be getting a new setup soon. All right, let's jump back over to the beautiful Unabated interface here. Mavericks and Pels here. Second night of the back-to-back for Dallas. They're traveling to New Orleans. 9-point favorites for the Pelicans. Win her sup. I mean, Pelicans playing some half-decent ball in recent memory, and we've also been proponents of hey, the Pelicans, not that bad. Not that bad. And they have nothing to play for right now other than to win games. They're in this really weird situation where they can't play themselves into the play-in, but they don't have a pick to protect because of the Derek Queen shit. So now they're kind of they're just going to play hard every single night. We'll see if DeJounte Murray goes tonight. It's an illness tag. It's the first tag since he's, been back that hasn't been a back-to-back tag. Illness tags are usually, especially when they're midday downgrades, low-key death sentences. But this was just listed from the jump, so I don't know. Maybe it was preemptive, just knowing that Dallas was on a back-to-back, knowing that they're home favorites, knowing that DeJounte's played a lot of minutes recently and played very well, that maybe they could get a rest day for him. So I don't know. I'm treating it like I draft him in the 5th, and that's kind of it, because there's a lot of swaps available here, guys, tonight. So I'm totally fine taking him in the 5th when he falls. But if you knew he was going to be out tonight, you would boost Trey Murphy. You would be drafting Sadiq Bey in the last round. You would boost Zion, this. Sorry, guys. This looks like a really nice spot for Zion against an undersized Mavs team on a back-to-back where PJ Washington's going to probably start at the 5. I don't know. Maybe Marvin Bagley starts at the 5 tonight. But they did this PJ thing yesterday, and they won with it. So you would think they would just run it back tonight and do the Nemhard plus PJ thing. But who knows? It's not a given. It's not a given, right? So, But, dude, Zion just... Okay, well, let me read the injury report, and then we'll have the Zion conversation. The Mavericks tonight, they have Q tags on the G Leaguer in Musa Cisse. So if he's available, then maybe some of the PJ at the 5 stuff goes away. Because if Musa Cisse becomes available tonight and this Q tag turns into an active tag and the doubtful tag on Gafford turns into an out tag with this illness designation, then all of a sudden you could just see the 5 split between Cisse and Marvin Bagley. So then PJ Washington becomes a considerably less desirable play in the last round. Granted, PJ Washington's stat line from yesterday was really baked upon the stocks, man. Like, he had 5 stocks and just not, you guys know, evergreen, that it's just like not a repeatable stat to jam in, right? But yeah, G Leaguers listed with Q tags here, so that's noteworthy. Klay Thompson and Daniel Gafford with Q tags. Derek Lively and Kyrie Irving are out here. And then on the Pelicans side there, Bryce McGowan still dealing with that toe fracture. And then DeJounte Murray with the illness tag. Then the G Leaguers are listed out. Yeah. So if you treat Murray as out, what you're going to do with the Pelicans stuff, because this is the highest total on the slate here. What did I say it was? 240? Second highest total on the slate here, 240.5. The next game is a higher total. But it looks like a good spot for Zion, who is just only driving, not shooting the mid-range, and taking 0 threes. He hasn't shot a 3 in forever kind of thing, right? Zion's been really pigeonholed into this really shitty Julius Randle role, right? Yeah. Oh, here we go. Ricky Lee, what's good, baby? What's good? Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see you. So good to be back and can play. Love it. Love it. GM to the Purple Yosh. What's good, my friend? Yeah, so Trey Murphy would be really interesting if DeJounte is out, because what DeJounte has done, man, is he has really just cannibalized the usage of everybody because he's just taken over the lead handling duties, right? And we talked about it on, I guess it was Tuesday of last week. Let me find a recent Pelicans box scores for the people, so you guys know I'm not a complete and utter fool. They played the Rockets quite tight on, I believe that was Saturday. That was on Friday. So let's check this out here. DeJounte Murray, 36.2% usage. Trey Murphy with a 25, 18 for Herb Jones. Sadiq Bey goes away with 14 when DeJounte's hot, and Zion gets this 21. Jeremiah Fears comes off the bench in the 13 minutes to just fill the non-DeJounte stints, just 1 for 1 there, 1 for 1 there. And then you could see that he takes on a 29% usage because he's trying to get his when they're out there. They're running this shit pretty tight, like a playoff team. Let's see what we got with our best unit, and playing really good basketball right now. So you want to play the starters, but the problem is, man, it's all funneling through DeJounte right now. And then it's can Bey hit a couple threes? Can Trey Murphy hit a couple threes and drive to the hoop a couple times and maybe get a stock or two? Herb is just taking the toughest defensive assignment every single time. And then Zion is getting a couple drives, a couple cuts. Maybe he gets his back to the basket a couple times here and then shoots nothing from the mid-range and shoots nothing from the outside. So it's kind of just an ugly spot to ape into when DeJounte plays, because if DeJounte plays, I want all of the 5th round DeJounte, right? I want all of it. Give me all of the 5th round DeJounte. But if DeJounte does not play, now I can start telling myself a story that I want to be overweight Trey Murphy because the handling goes up and he can hit a couple threes and it looks like a good handling spot for him. I want a little Sadiq Bey because he's scroll the F down in the last round for contrarian leverage and he's a fucking bucket. And I want to be overweight Zion in that because now all of a sudden maybe we get some point Zion, he gets some lead handling, and now Zion can cook a little bit. So it's very hinging upon whether we think DeJounte Murray is going to play basketball tonight. And we got to be on, starters jersey watch and see what's going down with this. Dude has been insane, man. He has been insane. And it's a great matchup for DeJounte. It's a great matchup for Zion. It's a great matchup for Trey. So yeah. Here's the champ rolling through. Zion has never won anybody money. It's true, man. Not this fucking year. It's 100% accurate. This year, he has not won anybody money, man. If we had the Woods chart, so throwback memory lane for anyone who's been around a long time, if we had the old chart of, what players have lost people the most amount of money this season, Zion would be up there. Zion would be up there. I will note, though, that I didn't realize this, but on one of my teams that qualified for the Dog Bowl, I did have Zion. I didn't realize that at the time. It was a gross team. It was like a Q tag Zion team in like the 4th and like Isaiah Collier and shit like this. Anyways, so that's the Pels stuff. I don't think you can go anywhere beyond that. If DeJounte does not play, I would swap to Saddiq Bey, even if it's a bad matchup, even if he gets PJ Washington on him or something like that. I would still swap to Saddiq Bey today, just because I don't think there's anything else here. Sorry, let me clarify. If I was swapping into this game, just because I don't think there's anything else here that I want to be interested in. Like Derek Queen is pure backup 5 run right now and can't be trusted. Jeremiah Fears is like, I'm not playing him in limited minutes, even if he starts for DeJounte Murray. Like, I just don't want it. Yeah. Yeah. Now let's talk about Dallas. Cooper Flagg has been playing really well recently. He is on his full-fledged, like, I'm going for rookie of the year career arc right now. I like the Cooper Flagg stuff today. Maybe he gets some Herb Jones treatment, and that's like a little bit less desirable for him. But man, he's just played so well recently. He gets no designation in the back-to-back. He is going to project right in this tier. I was playing Cooper Flagg over Tatum today. I don't know. Maybe it's famous last words, but I see a game that has a 30-point total greater than the other one. I see a guy who's going for it, a guy who's playing 32. I like the Cooper Flagg stuff, man. Yeah. And then the last round is really interesting here, because what are they going to do at the 5? If you told me PJ Washington was going to play the 5 tonight, I'd be interested in him in the last round. And that's not really box score-y chasey. It is more, what I just see from like a matchup standpoint. I would be interested in PJ Washington. I don't think you can play Brandon Williams off the bench in this spot. The minutes are just like not there, even though the rates are. Najee's been starting, much to my chagrin, ever since the Dog Bowl game where he gets 8 fantasy points. All of these totals would have beat Gumby, but hey, I'm not going to complain. But all of these totals would have beat Gumby since then. But yeah, I don't know. If you get 30 minutes of Najee Marshall tonight, I've drafted him once today. You could get some, backup handling from Najee or whatever. It seems fine. And then if we get some clarity at the 5 position, like we knew that Marvin Bagley was starting, I'd take some Marvin Bagley in the last round here, man. That's that's what I'd be doing, man. Yeah. That's what I'd be about. All right. Anything else to add here? Mark Andrews or George Kittle? I'm not a Herb guy. No, I just don't think I just don't think Herb has the offensive ceiling to matter. Like, if Herb getting home, like I respect Herb as a defender, and like for Herb to get home on our site, like we're gonna need 5 or 6 stocks, right? Like we're gonna need like the Dyson Daniels shit. We're gonna need a tight competitive game environment that plays to the total, that he plays 35 minutes and he gets 6 stocks. Like that, is it that different than betting on Dyson Daniels? Maybe not. Herb can at least probably shoot a bit better than Dyson. Or definitely can shoot better than Dyson, but like he just doesn't do enough offensively, right? Yeah. Project Mayhem. Team USA did you dirty twice, my guy. Thank you for that. Yeah, man. I did watch that game on Friday night there. I don't know. Canadians had some runners on a couple times there that they could have done it, but yeah. Yeah, I don't think I got anything else to say on that other than like this is the game that I like to get to right now for some auxiliary pieces. Like I liked the auxiliary Atlanta scrolls. I like some auxiliary Mavs scrolls today, but it is high variance. It's very high variance here. All right, let's do the Grizzlies and Bulls here. I think we can almost nah wave one side of this game, but we'll see. I'll tell you why in a second. But highest total on the slate, man, 242.5 here, 7 by way of the Bulls. I have no idea what the fucking Bulls are doing, man. They're just living in purgatory forever. Like, you look at the standings with the Bulls, man, and it's just like they're right beside the Bucks here. They're like, if you look at like the models for them to make the playoffs, it's like less than 1%, and they would like get in to then play like a 1-game playoff. Yet they're playing like all their guys, and they're playing Giddey like 40 minutes here. They're not tanking, but they're kind of tanking. Like, it's such a weird franchise, man. It's so strange. But yeah, Memphis has a laundry list of an injury report here. No KCP, no Santi Aldama, no Zach Edey. No, Ty Jerome has a doubtful tag. Gigi Jackson has a doubtful tag. Jeremiah Meshack has been listed available for this one, which matters because he's on one of those deals where they're counting the games. No Scottie Pippen Jr., who's been shut down for the year. No John Morant, no Brandon Clark. And then we got a Q tag for Walter Clayton Jr., who allegedly went through shoot-around and had a starter's jersey on in shoot-around. Yeah, we'll talk about Memphis in a half second. And then on the Bulls side, yeah, we're still doing with no Jaden Ivey, no G Leaguers, no Isaac Okoro, no Noah, no Zach Collins. Yeah, probable tag on Nick Richards, questionable tag on Colin Sexton, who was shooting the lights out before he got hurt with the contusion to the head there, where he missed the end of the dog ball slate that last Sunday and hasn't played since. And then an out tag on Anthony Simons. People love Giddey tonight. Rightfully so. Highest total on the slate. He played 42 minutes in one of the games over the weekend there. When was that? The Warriors game, 43 minutes, 39, 38, monster box scores. Yeah, just take Giddey at 3 or 4 tonight. I think I prefer Jalen Johnson to him tonight, but, you know, maybe famous last words if Kuminga plays, that sort of thing. Generational, yeah, best. Love it. Eggers has never had anything nice to say in his whole life, but I appreciate him being here. Yeah, I think, you know, Jalen Smith in a good matchup, who's been playing 30 minutes in the games that he does play, could be a fun contrarian scroll in the last round. I think Montas is a good play today. I think he deserves the ADP. His ADP is a little rich because I prefer Castle, who goes behind him, to Montas today. That was like my first initial run, but I definitely want to be mixing in Montas. We did see some big time ceiling from him there in that Warriors game where he played 45 minutes and had 41 actual in that. We then saw that Lakers game where he shit talked Luka, and then Luka went nuke on his ass, which was kind of funny. But yeah, Giddey and Montas, good by me. Jalen Smith for a scroll, aka Sticks, feels fine. I would like it a bit better if like Nick Richards wasn't available and Paul wasn't available, Yabu wasn't available. Like if one of those backup fives wasn't available, they can definitely stagger these minutes way more than they had been doing so in the past when they have all those bodies. Because like, you know, they can do the Jalen Smith beside Nick Richards thing that they have been doing recently. I'm totally cool with that and playing it. But like they have 4 bodies for like 2 spots right now, with Jalen Smith, Nick Richards, Paul, aka Patrick Williams, and Yabusele. So yeah, I'm not like crazy bullish on it, but I will definitely mix 1 or 2 in. If Sexton can't go this evening, which I'm kind of anticipating he can't go this evening, I think Trey Jones comes into play. He'll probably start. He can put up 35 fantasy points in the last round. It's probably not enough to win the slate, but yeah. Yeah, that's kind of it, man. I want to be overweight on Giddey. I want to be at the field on Montas, and then just a couple mixed in here. Now we can talk about Memphis. The nights that we don't play Memphis are when they have lots of bodies. They're kind of making it a point to ensure they have lots of bodies every night from here on out. Even with the doubtful tags on GG Jackson and Ty Jerome, you guys could see, man, like that this DeJohn Giroux was playing, like Tyler Burton played. What did he play? 27 and 29 minutes. Taj Gibson came back into our lives and played 11 minutes. Even with like these guys, even when it looks like, oh my God, we got so many out tags and so many doubtful tags, like there's just nothing here for us. If you want to take a swing at Javon Small in the last round because he's probably the best rates guy and probably the safest bet to play 30 tonight or make his way to 30, I'm fine with it. But I think it's literally just Javon Small in the last round, man. Like OMP's okay. Walter Clayton Jr. would be okay if we knew he was going to play a bunch, but like we just don't. He's coming back after playing 29, misses 3 games, probably starts tonight. Like there's just way too many bodies for them to do the hockey line change bullshit and just get no ceiling out of it. So it's kind of a shame that you have such a high total in a decently fast game, and yet there's just like no one overly interesting to play here. I guess my favorite would be Javon Small. But yeah, even that, man, like it just doesn't feel good, man. It just doesn't feel good tonight. Even though there's just like so many good matchups out here. One thing I will say is the other thing that could be mixed in tonight is Leonard Miller hasn't been in the player pool for whatever reason for like, I don't know, the last 5 games for the Bulls, and he occasionally starts and also mixes into that 3/4 range. So just be aware of that tonight. I don't think it happens tonight, but like definitely could. Wow, Jalen Smith is the Zag plant. Wow, I did not know that. I have not read, as I tell you guys, I read Mike's stuff after we do the show so that I give original takes out here. But wow, I can see why, because like, we're still dealing with like undersized 5s on the other end, right? Like OMP, Taylor Hendricks. Yeah, man, the corpse of Taj Gibson, like you're still dealing with like undersized 5s on the other side. So, Sticks can shoot the 3. He can get a ton of rebounds. He can play the 5. He can play the 4. He can stay out there for 30 minutes. But yeah, I'm a little scared with just like how many bigger body guys are available for that rotation. Let's take a look at the last time the Bulls played with him in the lineup. Let me see here. I think it was the Clippers game. Let me see. Jalen Smith. The last time he played he didn't play the Clippers game. He played the Lakers game. So let's just take a look at the box score from the Lakers game. Wow, really high scoring game. 142 to 130 in that one. Nick Richards was there. So no Yabu in this game. Yeah, so when he gets up to 30 minutes, Jalen Smith starts at the 5. Leonard Miller plays the 4. They only run, 9. They only run 9. Nick Richards plays backup 5 run. They have a little bit of overlap between the two. They stagger the front end, but then they overlap the second quarter. And then they stagger the whole second half. I mean, if they run this starting unit, I like this. But the problem is you got Yabu in here as well. You got Paw in here as well tonight. And even in this one, man, like 16% usage rate, only 20 fantasy points, and they scored 130 basketball points, 130 real life points. And this was against like Ayton and Vanderbilt and these guys, right? Granted, the Lakers are pretty big. Yeah, he said shaky Zag plant. Yeah, that if you want to sprinkle 1 or 2, I'm not going to fault you because he's a high rates guy, right? Like high rates 5s are what we search for in this game. But like, yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's keep moving. Last 2 games. The only 2 games, the only place that you can play these 2 games is on our site. Only site that kept these 2 as part of the main slate. Shout out Underdog for doing the right thing. Love to see it. Keep Wemby and Luka on the slate. Man, Luka is out of his mind right now. Luka is incredible. Luka is my 101 today. I've been playing Luka at 1 all morning. That was kind of my vibe. Rockets, big question mark here is Sengun after he missed, but we also talked about how Sengun has just not been Sengun in recent memory. This is lower back pain listing for Sengun. 225, 2 by way of the Rockets. Rockets are at home here. Rockets are, I believe, let me just confirm here. Now I'm losing track of my mindset here for a half second. They are not on the back-to-back. Okay, so they are not one of the front-end teams on the back-to-back, nor are the Lakers here. Last time Lakers played was that sweet game on Saturday night against Joker and the Nuggets there. Stole that one with Austin Reeves balling out. Okay. Lakers, really clean injury report. Just Maxi Kleber listed with the out tag. And then Rockets, Sengun gets the Q tag. And then no JD Davidson, who was kind of mixing in, but is listed with the G League here. And then no Chase on Tate. And then obviously Fred VanVleet and Steven Adams are still out. So pretty clean here. We're going to have the evergreen debate on the Rockets, guys. Do you like Amen more, or do you like Kevin Durant more this evening? I'm team Kevin Durant over Amen this evening. I just like the spot a little bit more for KD. I like the spot a little bit more for KD. I know you have to deal with some length on the other side. I don't know. I'm thinking about probably Marcus Smart on Amen. I kind of think. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm just kind of thinking out loud right now. Yeah. I like KD though. I like KD a little bit more. They've been more reliant on him for the scoring stuff. Amen, it's been nice to see a little bit of a resurgence, but still lacks the scoring ceiling. You guys all know my thoughts on Amen. He's just not my guy. He's not my guy. I think he's crazy athletic. I think he's a good on-ball defender. I think he's okay as a lead handler. But I just don't think he's just not the type of guy I want running my offense or running my offense through. But they've been doing more of it recently instead of the Sengun stuff, because the Sengun stuff just hasn't been working. Sengun is a generational wealth spot opportunity, though, if you want to buy the bounce back and you want to buy the Q tag dip, because if you're just looking at projection, he's going to project way, way higher than this, right? He is going to project, we talk about these 3 just all being interchangeable every single day. So if you want to play Sengun in the 4th round over and over again, and DeJounte in the 5th round over and over again, you're going to have really high projecting teams if they do play. I think Sengun has a really good chance to play tonight. That's just kind of my feel. I will check out Unabated right now to see if we have anything updated on shoot around. Not yet. West Coast games, so give it a little time there. I also really like, if you get Sengun, you can just go ahead and swap off of it into Jabari Smith Jr. Because if Sengun doesn't go tonight, Jabari's going to look pretty nice, man. A couple 35s mixed in here. He played 38 last time out against the Pels. Didn't really get a ceiling game out of him, but 38 minutes of Jabari. This team needs wins right now. They're in that thick of that middle of the Western Conference where they're all competing so hard. You're going to see an uptick for both Reed Shepherd and Jabari Smith Jr. if Sengun can't go. 32 last time out for Reed Shepherd there. An uptick in Reed Shepherd is actually an upgrade to the other side of the matchup too, because they'll just hunt Reed. So that's another plus for Luka. Not that you needed another plus for Luka, but the times when Amen's not on the floor, or that Amen and Reed Shepherd are on the floor together, that they'll try and switch and hunt Reed Shepherd with Luka. So yeah, this is a scary Luka spot, even though he's going to get the Amen treatment on one side. I also think there's just a little bit of fragility in the Spurs stuff tonight, and we'll talk about that in a half second, even with Luke Cornett out. But that's why Luke is my number one. But yeah, I think there's 5 draftable guys here. I'm KD over Amen. I'm Sengun in the 4th or 5th. And then if I get no Sengun tonight, I will swap to Jabari. Jabari just looks like that dude for me this evening. Man, Tari's been low-key buried. It's just, yeah, the days of debating Jabari versus Tari are behind us here. So if you want to start sprinkling in some Jabari Smith in the last round, will not fault you right now. And then on the Lakers side, what do we do with LeBron is kind of like the biggest question, man, because Reeves has been incredible. Everybody's talking about these splits about like, hey, are the Lakers better with just Luka and Reeves than they are with Luka, Reeves, and LeBron? I can't imagine that's true, and there's probably a lot of noise in that sample, but Lakers playing some good basketball right now, had a nice little winning streak at home there. Yeah, man, they're vying for these like important games. Like this is like a head-to-head of like one game between these two teams. Lakers are on like a 5-game win streak. Lakers look full here. I'm excited to play Lakers tonight, man. I want Luke at 1. I want Reeves mixed in where I can, even if he gets like some tough Amen on-ball switching stuff or gets some Tari Eason stuff in his life. And then LeBron, man. LeBron's just like a dude who gets up for like spots that matter or tough games. I think his projections are like naturally artificially inflated by historicals. It's been a long time since we saw LeBron get over like 45 fantasy points. Let me just show you 1 second here. Like Reeves has been way more of like the ceiling asset in recent memory. Okay. Let's take a look here. LeBron. Okay, so working backwards from the Denver game. February 12th against Dallas, 57 fantasy points. Prior to that, January 15th, 54. But he's got like a really high like floor. When he plays like those 32 minutes or whatever. And he's got like a high floor with these 47s, 42s, 35s, 40s. Like he firmly belongs in like the 4th round and the 3rd round, let's say. But if you're searching for like right tail outcomes against like a team that's like pretty decent, although I will say that the Rockets have been a little bit worse in recent memory, especially if Sengun's not there, and their rebounding rate has been worse. But if you just look at like the fantasy points he's been putting up, like the right tails just like haven't been there. And I do venture to guess that like some of these, let's go to Luka real quick. Some of these like Luka games, January 15th, let's see. Or sorry, some of those LeBron games were with or without Luka. Let's see. Okay, they were both with Luka. All right. Okay. That's not bad. Anyways, if you want, I think like LeBron is like good floor, less right tail in like those middle rounds. Austin Reeves has been playing really well outside of that one Pacers game that we went to. The minutes have been really strong. I'd be playing Reeves over LeBron like ADP has it, man. I like it. Yeah, I don't think anybody else is draftable, but it's just nice to see Marcus Smart playing really good basketball recently. You know, he gets this 6 stock game, 45 fantasy points. Like we thought that stuff was long in the past. Ayton playing a little bit of inspired basketball in that Chicago matchup versus Jalen Smith there, going 23-10. So just nice to see some of the Lakers pieces rounding out. Lakers a bit of a buy in the dance streets right now. But yeah, that's kind of all I got to say on that one. And then last game up, Spurs and Clippers. Kawhi rolled his ankle. Unfortunate there because Kawhi's been having damn near an all NBA season. 233 and a half here, 8 by way of the Spurs. Spurs trying to chase down the Thunder in the Western Conference there. And Clippers, man, right in the thick of that like play in. They probably can't get out, but just to put some numbers to it to you guys, 34 wins for the Clippers in the 8 seed right now playing without Kawhi. It's going to be hard to catch the Suns with this 39 here, but like, man, 7-3 in their last 10. They were playing really well. They just got Garland back in their lives, and now they're kind of like battling with like, they're for sure in the play-in, but they definitely want to stay above the Warriors and the Blazers. So all these games are going to matter for the Clippers coming down the stretch here. 233.5, 8 by way of the Spurs. Sorry if I already said that. Spurs without Dylan Harper this evening and without Luke Cornett. And then the G Leaguers are listed out. Clippers have a doubtful tag on Kawhi Leonard, and then they are without Niederhauser at the 5 there, Yannick YKN, and no Bradley Beal this evening in that one. So, yeah, Clippers probably only 2 draftable pieces for us. And, you know, Garland's probably ever so slightly overpriced going up against a tough Spurs defense. But if you want to run this through Garland tonight, I won't fault you. Nice to see him touch 30 last time out. Nice to see him 30 against the Knicks there on that Monday night game. Benny Math, you know, it's just Benny Math's all over the place, man. Benny Math is just you. Sometimes you're going to get 25. Sometimes you're going to get 35. I think tonight you lean in the direction of 35 more likely than 25, just because they're going to need the scoring without Kawhi. Maybe he even starts, but by the sounds of it, they really like him in that like sixth man off the bench role there. You're going to get split minutes at the 5 between Brook and Isaiah Jackson as long as he stays out of foul trouble there. Jordan Miller's like low-key a little bit buried right now. John Collins came back, but he only played 20 minutes. So if you take a look at John Collins here, we can't play him tonight. Derek Jones Jr., you know, good on-ball defense, can knock down a couple shots for you, that sort of deal. Not playable for us, although those box scores were pretty nice. But yeah, I think Chris Dunn probably returns to the starting lineup tonight. You get a Chris Dunn plus Garland kind of thing. It's just 2 draftable players here. If you forced me to draft a third, I think it would be, I think it would have to be Derek Jones just because of the minutes. Yeah, it would have to be Derek Jones if you forced me to draft a third. I don't want any part of Brook Lopez or Isaiah Jackson going up against Wemby. Like, Isaiah Jackson's just the king of 2 quick ones, and you're going to put him against Wemby, who's the king of drawing 2 quick ones. No, thank you. If you want to draft Kawhi tonight just as a placeholder and then try and swap, I would not. I would not, because he has the doubtful tag, which will swap in the late window, right? And you don't want guys in the late window. If you're taking doubtful tags, you want guys that get ruled out before tip so you can swap to the entirety of the slate. If you get caught with them just keeping the doubtful tag of Kawhi on the slate all the way until the bitter end, then you're only going to be able to swap into this game, and there's not going to be much for you to swap into in this game that's going to win you the slate. Wemby at 2 for me, although Luke Cornett not behind him, you know, I don't know, maybe that expands a little bit of minutes for him, but I just think there's more ways that either the stuff can go really right for the Spurs tonight and they can manage Wemby a little bit in this one, and their reminder, they are front end back-to-back against the Kings, whereas the Lakers are not, right? So these are the micro things I'm deciding that, like, Luka versus the Rockets, they need that game. That standings game matters so much. You know, Wemby here against a Kawhi-less Clippers team on the front end of a back-to-back, you know, this could be a, 27-minute spot. Now, can he do what he did against the Clippers in this previous game where he played 21 minutes and gave you 54 fantasy points? Absolutely. It's fucking Wemby. But like, this is the micro decision making, and I'm playing my Spurs stuff a little bit more through Castle a little bit later and a little bit of Fox here and there. I like Castle. This is kind of just evergreen, but I like Castle ever so slightly more than Fox. But, you can just mix and match, random number generate between those two. Vassell is probably a bridge too far in the last round, but he can hit some threes, and there's no Harper to take minutes away. Julian Champagny is fine, but not a good matchup for him. Yeah, That's kind of all I got to say. I wish there was more to get to in this game, to be honest. Let's rip a couple drafts and see what it looks like in real time. We'll fire up a solver here, do a couple drafts, and then we'll jump in the MLB streets. So I dude go Sengun at 5, DeJounte Murray at 6. Makes sense. Makes sense. Let me see here. Take that one off for a second. As you guys can see, got the solver up here. Got some projection variance mixed in here. So it's telling us Paulo is a play. That's just me messing around with the settings there. If I go ahead and change up the settings ever so slightly on the projection variance, there you go. You will see that Wemby now becomes the most selected player there. That's just me kind of having fun with some of the settings there. First look at projections. So I am seeing that ETR has Wemby ahead of Luka today. So that's interesting. They got Jalen Johnson firmly ahead of Giddey, and a reminder that Jalen Johnson projection will bump maybe a point or two, probably 1.5 points if no Jonathan Kuminga this evening. Much as we suspected, there's kind of a line in the sand after Paulo. They like Kevin Durant over Amen, so they're in lockstep with me. They like Denny Avdia more than all of it, but it's just a point. I think it is a big 3 tonight. You guys could see that the solver wants me to mess around because I pulled up the projection variance. I think it's a big 5, but I think it's kind of a big 3. Your builds are going to look the same as other people here in doing this, but we'll mess around and shout out. Shout out to the Burt Bra 3 hanging out in the draft lobbies with us. Take a look at some of our combos. I haven't synced up my exposures just yet, but we can go ahead and do this real quick. NBA slate. Sync up my exposures there. You sync up your exposures with the solver, and then you go back to the drafts here. You guys can see I'm on the clock and a bunch of dingers. Go back here, and then we can pull up the combo tool. So as you guys can see, my Jalen Johnson teams currently have a bunch of Zion on them. They also have some Austin Reeves. They got some Klingon. I've done Jalen Johnson plus Klingon a couple times. We could play into the recency bias of Booker. As you guys can see, Denny Avdia getting pulled up there by Tiger Woods. I think I like JB. Let's do the JB thing. Solver's telling me Klingon. As you guys saw, that I've already pulled up Klingon to do it with a Jalen Johnson team. So let's get a different pairing here. So we'll take JB and see if we can see if he comes back. Cooper Flag getting pulled up to the 8 position there. Going to be lots of fluidity in the second round today. Going to be a big mind your combos day, guys. Big mind your combos day. I think there's a really nice band of players to scroll to. We'll see if projection agrees with me. But I think there's like a pretty nice band of players to scroll to that have like right tail outcomes. But like there's a pretty stark line in the sand where there's just like unplayable guys after, you know? Wow, Nick Claxton with a 32.34 projection right now. That's way more playable than I gave credit to. I think his minutes are still going to be capped at like that 20-ish. And I think Danny Wolf is still more playable than him, but I get it. Let's see what Pasto does. He goes ahead and takes Zion there. We could take Sengun with the Q tag. That's the highest projecting play. But we could also try and get him to fall. LeBron is out projecting Reeves, according to the ETR stuff that I'm looking at on our screen right now, which is just interesting. It's kind of the conversation we already had there. Let's play DeJounte Murray as out, and that boosts the projection of Trey Murphy. As you guys can see, 41.56 he's already projecting for 41.56 with Trey Murphy, or with DeJounte Murray in. DeJounte Murray has a 42.3 projection. If that illness tag keeps him out, like, Trey Murphy's going to vault to being like in the tier of Klingon and Tatum and these guys, right? Actually, let's take a look at what the Tatum projection is, just with the solver pulled up here. It just shows when you pull it up like that. We can't look at it like that. We'll look at it next draft. See how far we can get Sengun to fall in this one. Montas Buzelis goes to 18. Tiger Woods takes 19 there. As you guys can see, our guy Burt Bra is going to pull up DeJounte Murray to 20. Reeves at 21. I think we could play Fox or Castle. You guys could see what I said. It's like a flip the coin here, where it's like a 39 and a 38. We could flip them just because, like, this is such a narrow band of projection for all of these guys here, that let's just go ahead and flip the two and take a guy who usually goes in the 5th round, but take him in the 4th round here, just to mix up our combo a little bit. Nick saying he just drafted a Luka, Booker, JT, and Sengun team. Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty obtainable. Like, you see that DFS King in the first position here. Luka plus Booker right there. Tatum goes there. Sengun comes back. That seems very plausible and obtainable today. De'Aaron Fox at 23. Who do we think gets Benny Math today? Like, that's going to be Stephen Castle's music, right? That's going to be Castle's music, right? That's probably a bad thing for Benny Math. But if we get 33 minutes of Benny Math without... If you get 33 minutes of Benny Math tonight without Kawhi, I mean, you're cooking a little bit. Suggs kind of has the highest projection here. We talked about pods, guys, how it's kind of like, it's a mean projection, kind of lacks a little bit of right tail, but it's the best matchup you could possibly have. Arguably the best matchup you could possibly have. He might get a little bit of the Belil on-ball treatment, which makes it a little less desirable. We talked earlier in the show about pairing Atlanta guys together and doing a little bit of game stack stuff with the Atlanta guys. Why don't we go ahead and take Jalen Suggs here and then do a scroll Atlanta guy to pair with it, do a little bit of a game stack from that first game environment that we like. Decent pace in that one. Pretty impactful game for the standings. Good total, tight spread. It might be a little chalky to pair Jalen Smith with another, or Jalen Johnson rather, with another Atlanta piece. It might be better to do with a double scroll Atlanta, but I don't know. Can't be that bad. If you guys are just rolling through, we got 170 of us. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, all that fun stuff. We're going to be doing a bracket challenge. As you guys can see, the bracket battle is now live on Underdog. We're doing a bracket challenge. So if you're in the YouTube comments there, pinned at the very top is our link right here to the bracket challenge. You guys can go ahead, click on that one, join the Deposit Kingdom. Pete is putting up $2,500 of his very own hard-earned money. Shout out to Underdog. They're putting up an extra $2,500 for our bracket challenge. If you guys want to enter in that one, we're going to run a little bit of a show on it tomorrow. Hopefully have a guest on who actually knows something about college basketball, because your boy does not. Dyson Daniels goes there. Onyeka Okongwu goes there. Guy Santos is totally fine by me. I like the Zinger pick in the last round here. I love the Najee Marshall scroll by Chris. If people are going to take PJ Washington and they're playing, hey, look at the box score, he's going to play the 5 tonight, just flip the script and take a Najee Marshall share. Love that. I did say that I wanted to do the Atlanta kind of like game stack thingy here. Everyone's going to click nah here. So let's be the guys who scroll down and take CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum's projection, as you guys can see, according to ETR, 31.85. 31.85. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, who is going to be drafted, 85% of the time, has a 32.7. We sacrificed less than a point of projection to do the exact same thing, but just take a different player, and we maybe got like a 40% discount in ownership. I was joking about this earlier, Matt. He said, I've never once completed a bracket based on actual takes. For those who've been around for a while, my wife and I do a bracket challenge every year, just a 1v1, and the loser has to cook dinner for the other person, clean the other person's car, like crap like this, right? Like just such trivial, like just something to root for against the other person kind of vibe. But there was a tweet going around this morning that was something to the effect of a family bracket challenge, but the cat is in it every year, and the cat has to pick any cat over any animal and has to take any big cat over any small cat and whatever. And the cat has won the family bracket challenge multiple times. Like just hilarious, like variants in college hoops, right? All right, we're gonna rip another one of those. PJ Washington goes at the end. Jrue Holiday goes there. As you guys can see, pretty narrow band of projection in terms of the scroll stuff. Like it kind of plateaus. One thing I would be interested in looking at, guys, is so Jabari Smith is already like a 30 in terms of projection right there. If you take, Sengun out, that probably gets him to like 33 or 34 and makes him like even more viable in the last round. Makes him kind of the same as Zinger. Zinger with the revenge game spot tonight. Many of those on the calendar for him, but also a smash spot. Let's rip one more here. Take a look at some of the combos as we go this time. We got the Hot Sizzos in here. Had a great time with him in LA there. True beauty. Was rocking the Unabated hat while we were out there. Mad respect. Tua Girls, 1 Cup. Awesome screen name. The Sushi Legend. Oh, I just put an I in there. It's not sushi. I just got sushi on the mind. Sanjay Rich has been around forever. And then Chris keeps beating us up, man. Keeps beating us up. Yeah, Chris rocking 3 drafts at once. Chris is rocking 12 drafts at once. Chris is legend, man. Chris is legend. We got to pay our respects. Last draft here, guys, and then we will fill a dinger. Don't pre-fill it because I want to get as many of us in it as we can. Don't pre-fill it. Oh my gosh. I forgot to shake this thing. I put electrolytes in it and I forgot to shake it and I just sucked them all up. Oh God. Jeez. Get your Mr. Good Boys in the chat. Just chilling out. Let's take Josh Giddey here. Wow. 50 projection for Josh Giddey. Smash spot for Josh Giddey tonight. Let's think about Memphis for a hot second here, man. If you had to play one Memphis guy tonight, man, it's just so hard. I guess it has to be Javon Small, but like, I don't know if they converted his deal yet. Like, is it even a guarantee that he plays? I mean, he's definitely like when Ty Jerome's not there and Gigi Jackson's not there, he's kind of like the highest usage guy, but it fluctuates. I don't know. OMP? Can he play 22 minutes of OMP tonight? Probably not. Chris flips the board there and takes Klingon. Sanjay Rich is taking Denny Avdia at 5. So the people are getting frisky out here. Amen Thompson is fine. Booker's fine. Nobody's going to flip the board with Tatum because everybody's playing the fall game. So if you want to take Tatum,
It's fine. You guys can see this Cooper Flag projection, though. That's really popping. Let's trust the solver and go ahead and take Cooper Flag. We did not have that combo yet, as you guys could see there. So we'll go ahead and add. Oh, we did have that one. Oh, well. We'll go ahead and add Cooper Flag to this one. You could also add one of the Pelicans guys at 16 to make it make sense from a game stack scenario. Playing Taj Gibson, the GOAT. Fucking right, J-Cam. 9 minutes of Taj Gibson tonight. What if he's the guy you need? What if he's the guy you need? Love it. Love it. Austin Reeves goes there. Let's be the LeBron guys. What do you guys think? Desmond Bain with a 40. Trey Murphy with the game stack with a 41. Sengun with the Q tag will age really well if he plays. Let's go ahead and take LeBron. LeBron's been outscoring Sengun for a month. Sometimes you just gotta like turn on your ball knower here and just be like, dude, what's going on here? What's wrong with Sengun? He's on his Jakob Poeltl career arc right now with these lower back pains. What do we got going on there? If you just play the projection today, guys, you're going to end up with a lot of similar combos to people because the projection bros are just going to be like soft fading Tatum, soft fading like Amen and Booker, and then they're going to be jamming Klingon, Advia, Sengun, DeJounte. And there's nothing wrong with that. Those are all good plays today. They're all good plays. It's just you got to be mindful of your combos today because a certain archetype of player is going to be doing the same thing over and over again, right? We could take DeJounte here. We could go ahead and take one of the Spurs guys yet again. Let's flip the coin and end up with the other Spurs guy this time and take De'Aaron Fox. The DeJounte roll is just so insane, man. The DeJounte roll is just so beautiful right now. I've always been a DeJounte guy because he's a good UW boy. I did not love him stepping over Jamal Shed like that. I did not think that was necessary. I did not think screaming at a nice guy like Jamal Shed was necessary. Did not love that. In the heat of the moment, but whatever. Man, you guys remember when I was complaining about my finger infection or whatever it was on Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever it was? Had to get that shit drained. So disgusting. It was huge. This is the aftermath of it. And it's still gross. Dyson kind of popping a little bit here in the hashtag models. It does really feel. Let's take Dyson. The solver's telling us to take Dyson. Let's just trust it. I mean, Dyson's always a dude who overprojects. It's just the nature of it. That's who Dyson is. But it does really feel like a one scroll slate, guys. Everybody's just like one scrolling. Nobody's two scrolling and nobody's super scrolling. If we wanted to super scroll, I think Jabari Smith's in play for the contingency. I think Sadiq Bey is in play for the contingency. I think Najee Marshall is in play, and we just saw Chris do it. I think all three of these are great plays as both contingent upside coupled with ceiling. Now, the fact that we already have Cooper Flag on this one means we probably don't want to take Najee. We could do the double Atlanta thing. We talked about the double Atlanta narrative. Let's do the Sadiq Bey narrative. You know, it's not a great matchup. Couple dud games in a row for him in some tough matchups. You know, getting switched on to with Scotty and BI. Getting switched on to with Tari and Jabari in the other matchup. Couple tough ones for Sadiq Bey. Might not get easier tonight if he gets the PJ Washington treatment. But I imagine PJ Washington probably deals more with Zion. And we get a little bit of contingent upside there. The hot sauce does the Jalen Smith scroll. Love to see it. Onyeka, nah. I mean, nobody took Zinger for the second draft in a row. Maybe everybody's just showing off because it's a stream draft. But I think Zinger's a good scroll. I think Trey Jones is fine if you think Sexton doesn't go tonight. I wish we could play Tristan Vukovic tonight. I wish we could, but it's only 20 minutes. Jeremy Grant, like if you want to play the spot, tonight and just be like, Portland is the spot. Taking some Drew and Jeremy Grant in the last round makes a lot of sense, you know? If you just be like, hey man, like Portland's the spot tonight. Let's go get it. And you get leverage off of the Denny teams. And you remember it's back to back with the travel mixed in, right? All right, guys, that was a long ass hoops segment. Evergreen with your boy. It's always long. Let's jump in the Dinger streets here. Dinger is 77.7% full. 5 more spots. Perfect. Let's draft some Dingers with my friends. This is going to be our first time using the easy overlay. So as you guys can see, we've talked about it a little bit on stream. I'm going to turn off the solver because it does not support this draft format. We roll the 102. Our guy Amax in here. Matt Murphy's in here with us. The draft bot. Eggers is in here. Love to see it. Cowboy 5 Rings is in here. You love to see it, guys. You love to see it. All right. You guys can see I've synced up my exposures thus far. Influencer 101, baby. Influencer 102. As you guys can see, I've synced up my exposures. It appears I'm a Bobby Witt guy in the first round. I got 13.9% of Bobby Witt. I got a lot of Fernando Tatis Jr. I'm a little light on Corbin Carroll and Julio Jones. This is fun to look through in real time. Pretty light on Vlad. 5.6% Vlad. Love Gunner. Love Jackson Churio. Dude, I need to get this Roman Anthony up. Let's talk baseball. Just, guys being dudes. Just talking ball, There we go. Joshua's in the 107. Regular guy 107. J. Thomas D. Okay. Let's get our Aaron Judge exposure up here. We only got 4.2%, which means I'm the guy who's been taking Ohtani at 1 instead of Judge. If you guys remember with my OG takes, one of my OG back in the day takes was I was a proponent of taking guys over Ohtani because of the embedded risk of him pitching as well. And we just got clarification that it sounds like he's going to be able to pitch 3 to 4 innings starting on opening day. Like then onward. That just enters in so much added risk to Shohei Ohtani. And there's some narrative stuff here, He's got back-to-back World Series. He's got an MVP, or multiple MVPs. Don't you think he wants that sigh? Don't you think he wants that in the closet? I don't know. Maybe it's a little far-fetched, but I am a little bit scared. The health concerns associated with him pitching. Let's talk World Baseball Classic. I thought the Canadians put up a good fight on Friday night. They were heavily outmatched, heavily outarmed, heavily outgunned, and they had their 2 best hitters at the plate with 1 out and 2 runners in scoring position and didn't get it done. There you go. That's it. That's all I got to say. It was a huge long shot. I was cheering for him. I would have much preferred to have played anybody else. US is a wagon. But incredible ball game last night. Much more low scoring affair than anybody thought. But given the pitching that was on the mound, yeah, Kobe's asking, this is kind of like Cody's talking about this. Yeah, that last pitch in the DR game. You know what? That last pitch, it was bad, man. It was really bad. Did not like it. You see some different angles of it though, and it's kind of like, okay. And the one thing that I can say is at least it was consistent. Let's make this pick here. Roman Anthony goes there. Jackson Churio goes there. Wow, all our favorite picks are going earlier. Nick Paws, aka Nick Kurtz, comes back. Dude, I kind of want to get a little bit more Wyatt in my life. Let's go ahead and take Wyatt Langford here. Easy's got all these cool percentages and stuff. We're talking about our draft capital. Where to spend draft capital on this. This is interesting. The draft advisor, we can analyze. So I can turn on the draft advisor here. All right, let's see what it's telling us. Wow, telling us to take Cody Bellinger. So it's telling us to stack up Cody Bellinger or Jazz Chisholm, even though their ADPs are 14 spots away, 22 or 23. So really prioritizing stackability early here. Let's take Jarren Duran. I have not taken a ton of Jarren Duran. I think he's looked really good in the World Baseball Classic. I think there's like a non-zero chance he doesn't get traded. Let's just go ahead and take him and see what happens here. Let's see. I'll turn the draft advisor off for a half second so it's not advising like every. Yeah. Yes, GM easy in the chat here. We're messing around with things. Okay, what did I do wrong? I clicked the stacks button. Oh, that's what I did. Okay. Draft advisor. Oh, I clicked stacks. No, I didn't. I didn't have stacks clicked. It just liked all those picks, bro. Messing around with it. First time out. He gave me the badass words that time. Love to see it. Anyways, let's talk about the World Baseball Classic last night. Or we were talking about Duran a little bit. Let's talk about the World Baseball Classic for a half second. It's just been such a good showcase of the game. And I just love it for baseball, man. There's been some amazing games. I thought that Venezuela and Dominican game was like an all-time, just so rowdy, back and forth. It's such a fun showcase of the sport. It's really interesting though, like some of the micro things going on here though, that guys care so much, which is cool, which is very cool. But like, so much has been made about the dapping up or lack thereof by Cal Raleigh and Randy Rosarina, and Josh Naylor was joking about it, how he was like, I'm going to go up there. He's like, I texted him that I was going to dap him up, and he said, please don't. And then he just held his fist out for a minute. But it's good to see that guys care. I was shocked, like Julio Rodriguez's comments was like, yeah, I love the Mariners. Yeah, I wanted to win the World Series, but like this means so much to me, and this is what I want to win. Like, okay, like maybe that's a bridge too far. Like we're playing like 5 games, and just because it's like your country, you'd rather win that than the World Series. That's a little strange. But outside of that, I've been thoroughly impressed with the product. It's been a lot of fun. But yeah, the call last night, the what I wanted to say was at least it was consistent, because he rung up Soto on the exact same pitch that should have been ball 4, or I think it may be ball 3. I think it was a 2-2 count on Soto. But he rung up Soto on the exact same pitch. So, yes, would I like, hey, man, that's a big moment. And that's like that's the poster boy for ABS right there, where it's like, hey, here's a huge moment. Yeah, I kind of wish we had ABS in that moment, just because it's a one and done single elimination, right? But yeah. Seiya Suzuki still going at 41, so people aren't really scared about his health. What's the most recent little nugget on Suzuki? Let's take a look. I got 8% dealing with left knee or right knee discomfort is the most recent one there. What's going on here? Couldn't click on it for some reason. It's okay. All right. Ian Happ goes there. We could do the Jazz Chisholm stack. I imagine if we look at interesting. So the S words are now telling me Ben Rice, but Chisholm's still here. Either of these players stack. I think you can go with either of them. Let's take Jazz here. Nimmo homered the other day in spring for the first time. Let's do Jazz with Judge. Feels fine. Buxton, a nice high ceiling pick from AMAC. Wow, I got 12%. Wow, I don't have a single Logan Webb share. Wow. Good for me. We could take Seager for the stack. He'll probably still be available. Let's take Nimmo. We're kind of falling into the same stacking patterns as a lot of people would on the left side of the board here. But it feels like a nice, cozy start, does it not? Dude, turn it off. You broke it somehow. That's awesome. All right, we'll turn off the draft advisor. We'll turn off the draft advisor, but we still got the capital buckets. We got the capital buckets up there. We can still keep the capitals up. And we'll run the sim at the end of it, because I've been informed that it's kind of hard for you to sim outside the top 2 spots if you roll one of the top 2 spots. Let's see what some of our friends are cooking up here. We get Lindor. Dude, we got good news on Lindor. Like, Lindor's going to be back here. So this is good, man. Lindor's back, baby. This is good news. Handmade bone stuff. Eggers is taking all the tried and true vet guys here. Matt Murphy is going all piss boy. Cowboy 5 Rings is going all piss boy. Ronald G is going, I don't care about your outfield needs. I'm just taking all the best players. And he's just jamming infield and one pitcher thus far. Interesting start here from Zurich. Zurich's going 3 starters out the gate here. Bobby Witt, Taylor Ward, and then he's going pocket aces and adds Hunter Brown. All right. Yeah, the handmade bros are back, baby. It's good to see, man. I want to see what the power looks like, but it does give you a little bit more confidence in taking Corbin Carroll right now and taking Francisco Lindor right now. Zach Neto has been falling in rooms. Neto fell all the way back to me last night on the left side of the board there. He's taking batting practice today, hitting off a tee. So he went for an MRI and things came back negative. Small sprain in his left wrist, and it was not his hand. So that's bullish. That's bullish. Maybe we should talk about some of the scrolls, man. Some of the super scrolls right now. I don't know how you can't watch last night's game and not be interested in Luis Severino. Man, I was watching that and I was like, dude, come on. I know the ballpark's bad. I know the team is okay. But Luis Severino's splits, like after he came back from the IL last year, and after he kind of like mentally got over crying about pitching in the minor league park, like he was a lot better. So I'm kind of interested. I took him last night in the last round once. I mean, Luis Severino is like SP 100 and something. He is SP 97 now. So people started drafting him overnight because when I clicked on him in my slow draft last night, he was SP like 110 or something. I mean, maybe I'm just a prisoner of the moment, but hey. Outfield, man, look at all that yellow. This is a true piss boy stream room here. Lawrence Butler. What's the latest on Lawrence Butler's knees? Because he was a faller for a while there. Here, we can go ahead and make some picks here. I want to get my Dylan Cease bags up a little bit. I like Dylan Cease. Let's go ahead and take our first pitcher. He feels like a stable, consistent, coupled with high ceiling guy to take here. Vinny P goes there. I'm pretty good with Jose Altuve here, but we do already have 4 outfielders, and I do think you can fall behind at pitching pretty quickly if you don't take one here. Ben Rice also stacks, and you guys can see I have like 1% Ben Rice, just like not in on it. Let's go ahead and take Chris Sale. Let's get ahead on a little double ace. A little double ace, but like slightly cheaper price point build. Like, how much worse is Dylan Cease plus Chris Sale in a weekly scoring format than like Yamamoto plus Gilbert around earlier? Or like Hunter Brown plus Woo? It can't be like that much worse. And if you're the guy who rolls 2 starts, why not, right? Yeah, Severino hates being in athletics so much. Yeah. But they were the ones who wanted to give him the money. As you guys can see, I don't have a ton of Naylor, Adames, or Ben Rice. And I think that's a structural thing. Like a Willie Adames bounce back is fine by me. Naylor ran a bunch since joining the Mariners last year. So that's pretty encouraging. He's looked okay in the WBC too. I've watched a lot of the Canada games. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like a structural thing where this pocket of the draft, I'm finding myself like taking 2 pitchers or taking 1 pitcher. Hold on a half second here while I go. The dog is just driving me crazy. He's scratching. Oh. Kenzie Gore, Luzardo. It's weird, man. As draft windows progress here, like we're getting more fragility at the pitcher position in like the middle tiers. You know, like we're getting more fragility in these like middling options, but then we're getting like back end stuff more fortified. Wow, 19% Hunter Green. No, thank you. Oh, that's unfortunate. I really liked him. I really thought he was like dark horse Cy Young guy, like huge ceiling at like SP 20 or whatever he was before. Still got a bunch of Chase Burns, Mizrowski, and Yuri Perez. Definitely guys I'm scared about with their innings, but definitely into. I like that the stacking partners light up like this. Kind of fun. So like we just got an unabated nugget here. Let's take DeGrom. I'm good with DeGrom. As you guys can see, I got a lot of Kirby already. This is kind of like a pocket of the draft board that I like to shop for pitching. So let's get a really solid foundation there of Cease, Sale, DeGrom. We got outfield taken care of nice and early there with those 4 picks. We got some backstack Boston stuff to mix in. We got some backstack Texas stuff. We can do some mini stacks in a minute here. A lot of purple is going to be popping on the board right now. Grisham feels like a fine stack partner, but probably a bridge too far when Willem Contreras is still on the board. I don't have a ton of Varsho. Let's take Varsho. Why not, right? Is like Varsho or... Yeah, let's take Varsho. His defense keeps him on the field. Play center field the whole time. Good with it. Okay, we're getting some unabated news here. Kawhi is officially out. So if you were taking that doubtful tag, now you'll get the swaps. And Isaiah Hartenstein is available for tomorrow. So that will pertain to tomorrow's slate. Yeah, loaded basketball week, guys. I think we're going to be doing a lot of basketball, but obviously recognizing that it's only 9 days until opening day, plus the bracket challenge stuff. We're going to be mixing and matching. So tomorrow, off and on the clock, we'll do the bracket, and then we'll see. We'll see. Maybe do some hoops, or maybe I'll do like a paywall hoops. And then on Wednesday, we got a monster NBA slate, plus nationally televised games, plus Gumby will be coming on. So Wednesday will be pretty loaded. And then Thursday, another like 8 gamer on Thursday. And then a 6 gamer on Friday. So maybe Friday we'll do Dinger plus hoops together again. Something like that. Because before you know it, it's opening day on Wednesday. It's opening day on Wednesday the 25th. So, I mean, that's going to sneak up on us in a heartbeat. We got to be diligent. 77.7% in the Dinger streets right now. So we got to be diligent going forward here to make sure we get these in. Joe Ryan. Did Joe Ryan end up, what's the most recent on Joe Ryan? Like, he's not going to pitch in the WBC, but did he end up joining the team? Won't join the team. Won't pitch for Team USA. Okay. Because they did talk about that. But that's good that he's going to be ready for opening day and be the starter on opening day, because there was some concerns there for a bit. Purple Yosh, 30 dingers left. Frothy for MLB dailies. Yeah, likewise, man. MLB dailies are so fun. If you guys have not played MLB dailies before, there's like a more, how do I say this? There's like a more casual, enjoyable feel to them than the hardo nature of NBA. Like NBA is like, man, I got to be tapped into the news. I got to be drafting in every window because ADPs are shifting rapidly. Baseball is way more like hockey, where it's like, or for like football in some regards, where it's like, man, I could just log on and put a couple stacks together and I can draft in the morning, or I can draft at lock when I have lineups and not a ton changes. And as long as weather is fine, you know, let's see some matchups we like and get some contrarian scrolls that nobody else is getting to, you know? All right. Ceddanne Rafaela, I only have 2.8% of, but he would stack with Jarren Duran here. Probably not going to do that though. Wow, we kind of got boxed out of like a whole tier of infield. Let's do a Boston super stack and just scroll. Let's take Willem Contreras and then let's take Trevor Story right after. I mean, maybe we could take Willem Contreras, or Wilson rather, Contreras, and stack it up with Jarren Duran and then maybe take one pitcher and then see if Trevor Story makes it back. That's probably a better way of doing this. But we're definitely a little bit behind at infield, but that's a place that I'm totally comfortable being behind on, because we can do 7 infield build and we can stack up some backstack guys later. I think I like Willer Abreu more than Ceddanne Rafaela, like just in a vacuum. I think I just like him better. The nice thing about Rafaela is like his glove will keep him on the field. Both of them fit the build, but like we don't need another outfielder right now, but the room's giving it to us. As you guys can see, I got to pump the brakes on the Chase Burns stuff. Like he's a high upside bet, but like I was just way too bullish and way too frothy early. We do have a nice build to take on some risk with him, but let's go ahead and add Zach Wheeler. I haven't done a ton of Zach Wheeler. Obviously, a little bit of risk in his health timeline, but if he comes back, it just like we're shielded by the fact that we have Cease, Sale, and DeGrom. So this is a good rotation to add a guy like Wheeler, where it's like the ceiling is the roof, right? Where it's like if Wheeler comes back and he's ahead of timeline and he comes back like a month and a half into the season, well, we have arms that are like good enough to keep going early on. But then now all of a sudden we add like a top 5, maybe top 10 arm to this room. A lot of ceiling in this room, man. Okay, let's see here. Pitch is telling me that 4 scoreless innings for the Twins today from Joe Ryan. So that's presumably his last start before opening day. That's pretty bullish. Yeah. MCJ said just like you could just go ahead and say Alek Manoah sucks and draft an onslaught against him and win the slate. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like that is MLB dailies in a nutshell. You just call your shot, see your spot, and let's go. Cody's saying, speaking to Joe Ryan, Taj Bradley looks good in Twins camp. Yeah, I've been hearing good things there, the stuff that I've been reading. I haven't watched him pitch yet. But yeah, I mean, everybody's always been kind of like in on Taj Bradley, you know? Like there's a reason the Rays liked him so much. There's a reason he keeps getting chances. There's a reason they traded that Griffin Jacks trade for him. Like he's a high upside arm, right? All right, let's talk about some scrolls here. So like Emmett Sheehan continues to rise. Man, he goes so high in the NFBC stuff. Like he goes in like the 5th or 6th round. I was seeing some people's draft boards over the weekend. It's crazy. All right. Wow, maybe I got to pump the brakes on Garrett Cole down here. I just thought he was free, man. I just thought he was free. I got almost 40% Garrett Cole, apparently. Haven't been paying attention to that. Just been drafting, having fun. Ryan Weathers is having a nice spring. Kota Senga's been pretty decent, and the velo's up. I like that. Brandon Ashcraft, everybody's favorite, worst kept secret. Matthew Libator could start opening day, but is low ceiling. Mick Abel down here having a nice camp as well. Good place to pitch. Logan Henderson got bad health news, which brings Kyle Harrison into our lives. If you want to scroll down there. Dustin May. All right, there you go. You love it, let it go. Trevor Story comes back to us. We'll go ahead and stack that up. I mean, Amex got 5 infielders already and doesn't have an outfielder. So if we do want to end our outfield with Jung Ho Lee right here and just be like a really strong outfield, we absolutely can. Let's do it. I did talk about how, I only have 2.8%. I did talk about how Vlad from FTN really likes him. So that made me a little bit more bullish. So let's just shut down outfield right now. And then Trevor Story comes back to us and we go ahead and stack that up. Opens up a little bit of a back stack for us too with the Giants stuff where we could scroll. Let's see what's going on in the chat here as I make a couple picks. Yeah, McAble looking really good. Love to see it. Been clicking Grant Holmes a couple times. Okay. I mean, if you think back to the daily slates, like people were really excited to play Grant Holmes at times last year or the year before he got hurt. Was that last year or the year before? The years are blending together, guys. No, last year. 115 innings last year. Dominant outing against the Bucks in spring there. 41 strikes out of 64 pitches. Okay. Also, just like a lot of available spots in that rotation. And if people are going to take Ronaldo Lopez, why can't you take Grant Holmes, right? That's pretty smart. I like that. A recent AL Rookie of the Year doesn't get drafted very much. How do we feel about Luis Gil? Yeah, I think I did it a couple times. I'm a little scared. There's just so many. I've only done it a few times, 1.4%. There's just so much volatility in that rotation. But if I'm making the Garrett Cole bet, like I am, like look at my Garrett Cole bags, right? Like what were my Garrett Cole bags? 37%. If I'm making the Garrett Cole bet, I can't also be making the Luis Gil bet, right? Because he's coming for the rotation spot of either Ryan Weathers, Will Warren, Carlos Rodon, or Garrett Cole, right? Like he's coming for one of those rotation spots, and two of those will be health based, and the other two will be performance based, right? So, yeah, does he get squeezed? Yeah, that's the exactly what I was trying to articulate there. Yeah. So, I mean, I like it, man. I don't know what the stuff has looked like this spring. I don't know what the StatCast data is saying. Like, is the fastball all the way back up? Yeah, because then you could definitely get kind of bullish on him. Let's talk about some of the position scrolls. Like, I think it's the worst kept secret ever that like this team right now is setting up for me to get to, Jake Berger, aka Rake Berger, Luis Arias, Stacks, and Caleb Durbin. Caleb Durbin's a guy that I'm trying to mix in a little bit here. Only 2% right now, but like Caleb Durbin for this Boston mega stack feels fine. Miguel Vargas is a guy that I got to get some exposure to. Bryce Eldridge, my guy, Best Ball Viper was trying to sell me on Bryce Eldridge. Might have to get some of him in my life. Ernie Clement, WBC legend out here. Can mix him in with a Toronto stack. How about Anthony Volpe, guys? What if Volpe's just like a little ahead of timeline and he just returns to like 2024 status of Volpe? Austin Wells having a nice WBC, but probably don't want to take like catchers all the way down here. We got a lot of purple on the board in front of us. Probably going to be one pitcher and one infielder here. Probably take the pitcher first because of what Amax cooked up at the one hole there. Let's go ahead and take Emmett Sheehan. Everybody's like really excited about him. Like, I don't really know what's up or why. I do think Nola looked really good and the breaking ball looked really good. And he's going to pitch again tonight for Italy. Obviously, he didn't have a good year last year. We don't have a ton of it. Let's take Nola. I talked myself into Nola. Let's go. What if Nola just returns to form? Breaking ball looked really good in the game against Mexico. The breaking ball looked really nice. And we know Aaron Nola works everything off of that breaking ball, right? Nice little bounce back for Aaron Nola. Shota and Jordan Beck go there. I think we're going to just go ahead and stack this up. Let's take Okamoto. Kazuma Okamoto. Probably like a pretty decent lock to be hitting in the top of that order. Maybe alongside Varsho, Vlad, etc. Jet Howard listed available to play. Nice Phil's pitcher stack too. Yeah, just a little added benefit when it comes to staggering weeks and or stacking to start weeks in the finals. Man, Andrew Wiggins still hurt, man. Out for tomorrow. All right, so we go Okamoto there. One of my favorite targets. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. And maybe I'm just like a little too slappy. But one of my favorite stacking partners hopefully comes back to us at 191. That is exactly what his ADP is, but he's been pushing up. My Matt McClain shares, man, holy. He was free, and now he's going at 155 because of spring training. I was way ahead of the curve. I haven't been chasing him up the board a ton, but I still got 20%. Probably need a little bit more Matt McClain. I like Matt McClain, man. It was the oblique thing. I don't know. What do you guys think about Emmett Sheehan, man? Like, sell me this pen. Like, everybody's like, what's the difference in him and like Cam Schlittler, right? Like, they think he's like good. And I get it. He was really nice last year. I'm just scared about the rotation spot, no? Like, I'm crazy. Fastball slider, changeup cutter. Had a 10.9 K per 9 last year at the big league level. 73 innings. I don't know. Like, if you need someone to like have options, like, you know how the Dodgers like just manipulate their shit all the time, right? Let's take a look at this rotation. Yamamoto, Glasnow, Ohtani, Rookie Sasaki. I have no idea how this is going to go and if he's going to go back to the bullpen or not. Then you also are going to add in Snell at some point, right? I don't know. Maybe it's like safer than I think. Gavin Stone and Snell are hurt. Who do we got at AAA still? Landon Knack. Like, Landon Knack was good last year. Landon Knack. Kyle Hurt. River Ryan's nice. I don't know. They just manage innings like so much with this team. Let's go back here. Our guy came back, so I think we just go ahead and take Addison Barger and stack it up. AMAC already has 6 infielders, so if there's a starter that we like more, we could take him. Let's take Matthew Boyd. Matthew Boyd, opening day starter. Nice bounce back year last year. Good baseball team. Him and Cade Horton could lead that rotation in innings. Has anyone taken Justin Steele? Like, I know we don't like drafting injured pitchers, but has anybody taken Justin Steele? What's his ADP? SP 137. Faced live hitters on Friday. Former Cy Young or former Cy Young adjacent? What was he, runner up to Cy Young? Can't remember now. I don't know. He's like a 2-pitch guy coming back from TJ. You could do worse back there for sure. You could do worse. Who else was I thinking about this weekend? Justin Steele was an all-star and finished 5th in Cy Young voting. So, age 27. He's age 30 this year. Okay. Damn, Jake Berger goes there. Was hoping he'd make it back. Man, all these guys that used to go in the last round just don't go in the last round anymore. So good. Yeah, people talking about McConaughey. I don't know. How different a bet is it than Connor Griffin? I don't know. He's starting to get mixed in the last round of drafts. I mean, like, I would still take the Jorge Polanco types, and maybe this is just who I am. There you go. So Cowboy 5 Rings just took him. He's got an ADP of 200. I've drafted him like 1 or 2 times. Obviously, people like him having a nice spring. Detroit's got playoff aspirations again, right? I don't know a ton about the profile, to be honest. Like, how bad could it be, right? How bad could it be? If he leads off, left-handed leadoff guy who doesn't strike out a ton. Why not? Okay, let's think about some other guys that were scroll worthy. I put a couple in the Discord the other day. We can do outfielders because we're not drafting any outfielders. Wow, my Cam Smith bags are popping. 18%. I got to start diversifying. But obviously, I liked a little bit of Cam Smith. Tyler O'Neill at 5%. Owen Casey's looked okay for Canada. I just don't like the park, and I don't like their playoff schedule. Dominic Canzone, I can get on board with that. A little bit of power. Lourdes Gurriel's ahead of timeline. Josh Lowe is fine despite the oblique thing, so he looks a little bit better now. Okay. One more starter and then a couple infielders to round this thing out. I like Jonathan Aranda. I like Kyle Manzardo. I like Adley Rutschman. Let's take Manzardo. Let's do Manzardo. I was thinking I was going to do Luis Arias for a scroll. We got so many stacks here. We got 10 stacked hitters already. 2 stacked pitchers. I'm pretty content with 10 stacked hitters already. So we could take a couple one-offs that we just kind of want to mess around with. Kyle Manzardo, not much of a scroll, but we get a little bit of a discount on him. There goes Tyler O'Neill. Max Meyer. Why not? Dude, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's take Luis Severino, man. I thought he looked really fucking good. And the strikeouts were back. Let's take Luis Severino. Let's have some fun. I don't know if that's your guys' idea of fun, but let's have some fun. I thought he looked really nice last night. Really encouraging. Obviously a pitcher's park. Obviously worked out of a couple jams. But like, I thought that looked really encouraging to be getting those kind of strikeouts against that caliber of lineup. Obviously his home park is awful. But hey. And then we're going to have one infielder to end this off. So let's think about the outfield scrolls there. Just tie a bow on it. I think Gurriel's fine. I haven't done Garrett Mitchell yet, but I could see why. I could do Jesus Sanchez on this team, but when you spend Judge and then all this capital, like what was it, 4 of our first 6 picks on outfielder, you just don't want to add a 7th. Spencer Jones will have a rough time for playing time. Isaac Collins could lead off. Like, that's not crazy. Denzel Clark is so mid, man, but his glove will keep him on the field. If you want to play like the Athletics narrative, man, Denzel Clark or Colby Thomas, like everybody wants to stack Athletics. And if we look at like, what if Lawrence Butler's knee isn't right or whatever? Like a Denzel Clark or a Colby Thomas scroll isn't the craziest thing in the world. Lane Thomas, I've thought about it, but haven't done it yet. Zach Veen, definitely thought about it, but haven't done it. Like the Rockies just railroad their own prospects, right? And they box them out. Trevor Larnach, like how different is Trevor Larnach than Matt Wallner? Truly, right? The password, I have no idea how to say his first name, but he's having like the greatest spring ever on the Pirates. Garcia, I don't know. I kind of joked, can Yoshida get 500 plate appearances? Walker Jenkins is probably a year away. I don't know. Lots of names down there. Infield guys. Like, I want to do the Durbin one here. Nobody sniped me because it stacks nicely. But we could also do like Bryce Eldridge here. We could also do Luis Arias. He's already gone. But we could do Luis Arias. Everybody was fighting over Ivan Herrera earlier this spring, and now nobody wants him. Miguel Vargas, I need to get those bags up a little bit. His profile has always just been one that I like. Mason Wynn could lead off every single day. Seems fine. Max Muncy of the Athletics, I do not have that percentage of. That is just a Max Muncy reading. Jordan Lawler could make opening day. Westberg, I'm really scared of the injury. Josh Bell could be an everyday first baseman and then get traded at the deadline like he always does. Like Josh Bell just routinely gives you 1,000 fantasy points and hits 20 home runs, Ryan McMahon, I've done a couple times. The glove will keep him on the field. Luis Garcia, apparently I've done once or twice. Logan O'Hoppe, I've done a couple times. Marcelo Myers, like everybody wanted to draft him 2 years ago or whatever, a year ago. And now he might make opening day. Having an okay spring. Brooks Lee, switch hitter. Could play every day. Reese Hoskins is probably going to be a platoon guy, but what could have been once upon a time. Mark Vientos hits the ball so effing hard. Josh Smith could lead off and play every day for this Texas stack. Jose Caballero led the American League in steals last year. Playing time might be hard to come by. We also said Volpe, right? Volpe could be on this list. We haven't even got to Volpe yet. Vargas goes there. All right. I think it's probably a pretty easy Caleb Durbin click this time. Just hope he plays third base every single day. Make the super Boston stack. I mean, you can make the Jung Ho Lee pick make sense with like Bryce Eldridge, but like how much are you truly gaining by stacking those two, right? Let's do Caleb Durbin. They obviously gave up Kyle Harrison for some reason. Easy likes Lane Thomas. Yes, Vargas might hit between two hitters going 100% of the time. Yeah, it's a good point. Like he could just hit in that 2-hole between, a bunch of home run big boppers, right? Seems good. Vargas is like a pretty complete hitter too. Wow, Amac showing off the ball knowledge, taking Conley early there. So early, you guys remember, started in the postseason for them last year. Apparently, I got a 1% share. Strong outing on Friday. Maybe he makes that rotation out of spring. Hunter Green goes completely undrafted in this one. I think taking Hunter Green in the last round is fine. I think taking Hunter Green is fine in the last round. I know you want innings and injured pitchers are scary, but like we're talking about a dude who like in the last week of the season could be like SP5. And if we're playing this truly as just a 2-week sprint contest, like if you roll a 2-start week with Hunter Green as SP7 on your team, when every other team showing up with him has him as their SP1 or 2, you're at a decisive advantage. Like this is just like an ADP play. I know it's scary to take, floating chips in the elbow pitcher who throws 100 miles an hour, but he didn't get shut down for the season. He's getting the minor procedure, and they're talking about July as a timeline. What's more valuable? 70 innings of Hunter Green in the last round with your last roster spot, or Matthew Libator, Merrill Kelly, Joe Musgrove? I don't know. There's a case to be made that if you have like a pretty strong front end rotation, that you should still take them in the last. All right, guys, we are going to run the S words courtesy of my guy Easy. We are going to run 10,000 simulations of our lobby right now and see what happens. 776, Cease, Sale, DeGrom, Wheeler, Nola, Boyd, Severino. Veteran laden, high upside, early draft capital, arms room. Some extreme volatility and age in there with Sale and DeGrom in particular, and Wheeler not being 100% healthy and Nola coming back from an injury. But hey, why the fuck not? Those are some baseball players. A little bit light in the infield department. We punted infield, and we ended up with Jazz, Contreras, Story, Okamoto, Barger, Manzardo, and Caleb Durbin. A nice combination of a little bit of ceiling at the top there with potential 2020 or 30-30 candidates in Chisholm and Story. And then we get some consistency and ABs with Willem Contreras and Okamoto, we assume. And then you take ceiling shot profiles, left-handed power with Barger and Manzardo, and then Durbin as like a flyer that tacks on as a stack that they clearly like and targeted. Judge, Langford, and Duran, a combo that is probably repeated a decent amount, but not by me, because you guys can see 4%, 4%, 9%. And then we stack up Nimmo. We do the Varsho stack with the Toronto stuff. And then we do a one-off Jung-Ho Lee, who we do not have a ton of. All right, let's run the S words. Here comes the sweat. Running. The ultimate sweat. 10,000 iterations of S words. Yo, baby! Let's go. Easy gave us the good Sims. Easy gave us the good Sims. Shout out to DraftBot, who comes first in the 10,000 iterations of Sims, and he is advancing at a 39.9% frequency. He mopped the field out here. Your boy comes in second with a 27.3% advance. I get the outfield slappy and the stack or. So does DraftBot. We build both 776s here. My finals EV, 0.5% chance there. Infield points per week is definitely on the lower side of the spectrum. It is the lowest in the entirety of the pod, guys. Lowest in the entirety of the pod, but we make up for it with our outfield points per week. If we could go back in time, maybe we turn one of those early outfielders into an infielder and then have a little bit more of a balanced build there. When you start with an Aaron Judge team, maybe you don't need to spend 4 of your first 6 picks on outfield. So there we go. Please delete, Matt says. Matt is buried down here in the 11 hold. Our guy Ronald G, who spent all that capital at pitcher, finishes last in the Sims there. He does the pocket aces. Yeah, AMAC is up here as well. Whereas Eggers finishes 9th, but he is blaming it on the auto draft there. The autopilot did not have my back. Love to see it. All right, let's see here. Easy saying, I find the S words like when you turn Judge/Ohtani into weak outfield rooms and win the other 2 positions. That makes a lot of sense, man, because you're spending all your capital on it and they're supposed to be separators at the position. So why not treat them as separators at the position, right? All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Go over and check out EZDFS.xyz. I'll drop that one in the chat for everybody. That is the home of the best ball S words there for MLB. If you guys are going to be mixing it up in the NFL streets and or in the NBA streets alongside me, you will see that I used the solver for those drafts. Here is your link to the solver. Promo code BADGE in all capital letters will get you 20% off if you are a first-time user in that one. And then tomorrow, guys, we are doing the bracket challenge alongside my good friend Pete Overzet, and Nez will be back tomorrow there. We are going to do the bracket battle there. So if you guys look in the, what is it? At the top of the chat there, pinned in the chat for everybody, you can join the battle. You have to go click that on mobile if you want to join. Pete is sharing in the chat with me right now what our, let me see here, what our payout structure is going to be. And it looks like we're going to have 1K up top, a free roll, guys, free to enter free roll for the Deposit Kingdom here. So it'd be stupid not to throw a bracket in. Go ahead and click that link in the chat. Loaded show, guys. Appreciate you spending all that time with me. Talked about some baseball. Big shout outs to The Solver, to Unabated, and to EZDFS.xyz and the good people at Underdog for making it happen. Back tomorrow, I will say, not same place, not same channel, because we are on Pete's channel tomorrow, and we are at 12 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So earlier tomorrow, back here on Wednesday to introduce into the winner's circle, the Dog Bowl champion, our friend G for Gumby, and talk a little more hoops. So we'll see you back here on Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow on Pete's channel, and everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace. Good to be back in the saddle.